A very good morning to all of you to the two-day webinar on IPR and Entrepreneurial Innovation, jointly organized by Don Bosco College, Golaghat, the Commerce Department, and the Commerce Department of Christ deemed to be University, Bengaluru. I am very happy to address a few words of introduction on the second day of the webinar on IPR and Entrepreneurial Innovation as principal of Don Bosco College, Golaghat, on this occasion. Established in 2015 in the northeastern corner of the country to cater to the really poor, the college innovated itself to care for the welfare of the student community. The visit of former Vice Chancellor, Father Thomas Matthew Chathamparambil, CMI, on 27 October 2019, initiated the network of collaboration between the Christ deemed to be University and Don Bosco College, Golaghat. Besides a study tour and a visit of Christ University, the Commerce Department of Christ University arranged a two-week program for the second semester students of our Commerce Department, which was a beyond imagination experience for all our students. This webinar, jointly organized, shows the strength of the partnership that inspires such joint ventures. I welcome all the resource persons and panelists of today. MrHironmoyGogoi, founder and creative head at Khana Sivasagar. MrNeichuteDoulo, CEO, Entrepreneurs Associates, Nagaland. Madam Rita Tage of Zero, Arunachal Pradesh, and MrGopen Moses from Manipur, a youth motivator and entrepreneur. Today we have Associate Professor KarthigaiPrakasham, Department of Commerce, Christ deemed to be University, as the moderator of the session. He has 20 years of teaching experience and is also the coordinator for MCOM for the Department of Commerce. His subject areas are marketing, entrepreneurship, accounting and finance. He has guided many Imphal and PhD scholars. Today only some of the Imphal scholars wrote to him, thank you sir, happy to see you in the webinar and so on. Published articles, participated and organized by national level seminars and conferences. I have gone through his profile, it's something about 5 pages. If I present all that great works he has achieved, then the whole day will take. Therefore, with a small, crisp introduction about himself, and you will see how the webinar will flow so naturally under his guidance and the spirit moderating skills and techniques, and his contributions will convince us of his great role in the institution where he provides such quality education. His vision and dream is to educate and empower the student community. Hearty welcome, sir, and all the resource persons. My appreciation of the Department of Commerce headed by Mr. Anjan Badali, along with Madam Devangana Saikya, Mr. Shiv Kumar Sharma, Ms. Sanjay Rusan, Madam Pragya Singh, Mr. Mukul Sharma, and Mr. Michael Kaka, who put forward this concept of the webinar from our college. My deep appreciation for the Commerce Department of Christ deemed to be University for taking the idea forward in an excellent manner and making it their own and providing resources and persons to help us carry through this idea. Sincere thanks to the Vice Chancellor of the University, Reverend Dr. Abraham VM. We have on the left side, Dr. Tommy KK, Dean, School of Commerce, Finance and Accountancy. The middle, Dr. Teresa Nithilla Vincent, HOD of Commerce Department, and all the professors at Christ University. Thank you very much. And we pray that this collaboration grow stronger and stronger. I want to thank the technical team led by Madam Lalita Osgar, Mr. Angur, Mr. Sanjay, Mr. Dionysh Turkey, Mr. Luikang Simon, and all the faculty members and staff. I welcome all the participants, resource persons, and I gratefully hand over the session to Dr. KarthigaiPrakasham, the moderator of the day. God bless you and thanks.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Once again, a warm welcome to all the participants and delegates who are there for this webinar, the second day webinar. Now, let me tell you the flow of the webinar. Now, 10 to 11, we have Youth Innovation and Entrepreneurship, a check on reality. Then followed by the second session at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12 o'clock, Entrepreneurial Mindset among Generation Y. And followed which, the third session would be a panel discussion on the topic, how to cope with this pandemic and entrepreneurial perspective. Now, let us start with the session one. Now, we have a great resource person with us. Now, he is a youth entrepreneur. So, let me introduce the youth entrepreneur to you all. It's my pleasure to introduce MrHironmoyGogoi, founder and creative head at Golaghat, Sivasagar, Assam.
Thank you.
So, once again, I'll give a brief detail about Hiranmoy. HironmoyGogoi is an entrepreneur, he's a writer, he's a motivational speaker, and a song composer. And to our surprise, he's just 26 years old. And to his proud, he says that he's just metric passed. So he ensures that education qualification alone cannot achieve things. His early life and struggle, if you have to see that, he was born and brought up in Sivasagar, aspiring to become a youth influencer. He lost his elder brother when he was 15 and his mother when he was 18. From selling books to doorsteps to publishing his 3 books so far, from a depression survivor to catching national headline, his journey is full of struggles and constant dedication. And also he's a social media influencer. He creates audio and visual content to help people to live a better life and to work for nurturing a peaceful world. And coming to his experience, he took a break in Malaysia and then worked in the international BPO industry, Kolkata. His work profiles were starting from executive level to operations manager and business development manager. His experience in startups, formerly known as youngest entrepreneur from Northeast India, after winning the first national award, he failed in 2 startups. Currently developing Golaghat promotes ethnic food and help women groups. And the sister unit GKK Fashion e-commerce deals in Assamese Mekhla, Sadar and Assamese jewelry. He is currently building a tech platform too. His list of recognitions are as follows. He is the winner of India Student Entrepreneur of the Year 2016 award given by US-based Entrepreneur magazine. Winner of Homegrown Business of the Year 2017 for Golaghat given by Franchise India. Winner of Rural Entrepreneur Award 2018 given by Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Tuljapur. Winner of South Asian Youth Award 2017 given by IYC. Winner of Northeast Excellence Award 2017 given by the Telegraph newspaper. Honored with Rangpur Inspiration Award given by AAMSU. Winner of Asia Inspiration Award 2018 given by IYC. Created a national record as youngest author to write a book on entrepreneurship in India Book of Records 2019. Winner of Rising Star Award for the book The Future CEO given by Literoma in Kolkata Book Fair, Newtown 2020. Featured on India Today, Dainik Bhaskar, Entrepreneur Media, The Better India, Amar Ujala, Kenfolios, Youth Ki Awaaz, Factor Daily Startup, Hindi, Pratin, Time, News 18, ETV, Isha News, Northeast Today, Eclectic Northeast, The Telegraph, etc. Delivered talk for TEDx and hosted by Joe Stop in collaboration with Facebook India at Assam Engineering College. And he also has been invited to deliver talk at many prominent educational platforms across Assam, such as Guwahati University, Assam Agriculture University, Royal Global University, Assam Engineering College, Sivasagar, Thomas College, Lahore College, Dbcgolaghat College, Sivasagar College, etc. It's a pleasure to have you here, Hiranmoy. We are all excited
Thank
to
you,
hear from
sir.
you. Over to you, Hiranmoy.
Thank you, sir. So, first of all, Honorable Principal, sir, Don Bosco College, Golaghat, Honorable Associate Professor, sir, our moderator for this session, Department of Commerce, Christ Bengaluru, deemed to be university, supporting staff who made this webinar a reality, and my dear participants. I'm very thankful to all of you, all the members who are associated with this webinar, for giving me this beautiful opportunity where I can share my life experiences directly with you. And as we all are aware of the fact, about the present situation, the current scenario out there due to this global pandemic, we all are struggling in our own home. But during such a tough stage, the kind of initiative that the organizer is taking is really commendable. And by this way of doing activities virtually, it can boost our confidence level. We can exchange our thoughts and ideas, and most importantly, we can make the best utilization of our time by making it more productive. So such kind of constructive discussion or exchange of thoughts. As I can see in the comments, I have seen there are many participants coming from different education institutions from different regions, and it's a great pleasure to have all of you for this webinar. And today I will teach you regarding innovation and entrepreneurship. The first part will be, what is innovation? Why innovation is important in today's era at present? What should be our approach towards innovation? And at the last, I will teach you very briefly how to do a startup. As you all may be knowing the fact that entrepreneurship is not a subject which can be taught within just 1 hour of time. It's not possible. It's a big subject. We have to explore a lot of things in this specific field. But what I will do, I will try my level best to touch the important points for this webinar so that the participants can get the maximum benefit by investing their time in this webinar. So I just want to give you a brief introduction about myself once again. Hi everyone, my name is MrHironmoyGogoi, and I'm from the beautiful town called Sivasagar in the state of Assam. My world revolves around 4 major subjects, and these are business, writing, speaking, and music. This is my world where I live. So as my topic is about youth innovation and entrepreneurship, today I will teach you innovation and entrepreneurship in a very easy to understand manner, so that you can find it very productive and you can get easily engaged with this webinar without wasting any time. By looking at the limited moments that I have to share my experience, I directly want to go to the first question. What is innovation? I'm not going to follow the bookish knowledge. I'm simply going to give you the answers, the feelings, the experiences that I have gained in my practical life since a young age, since I started working in the innovation and entrepreneurship field. According to me, innovation is something, any practical sense that can add more value in a product or in a service is simply called innovation. That is innovation for me, according to my definition. Now the next question is, why innovation is important? Dear participants, the world is changing very fast. With the access to latest technology, people's choices, their likes, their preferences, their way of living have changed very fast. So to leave a benchmark in this competitive world, it is highly important to take innovation. It will teach you how to survive, and at the same time, it will impact a lot of lives around the globe. It will help many people to make their life much easier. The third question is how to approach innovation. I think what I personally feel about this particular topic is that innovation should not be an aim in your life. Innovation should be a habit of your life, a daily habit of your life. When you take it as an aim, then you will have certain, deadline, you will do planning, you will say, okay, I will, attain innovation at so and so time, I'm taking initiative. But what I want to tell you or suggest you is that make innovation a compulsory part of your life. Innovation doesn't mean only that you have to make rockets and missiles. What I have been doing all through these years, since a very young age, is innovation right from my own bedroom. In every single activity that I engage myself every passing day, be it while listening to a song, I used to do humming with a new flavor by adding my own tune. If I'm cleaning my room, I used to look out for new techniques which can save my time and it can get the work done instantly. While doing any activity, you can look out for some new techniques, new methods, your new creative ideas. You can make some product, you can do some craft work. Innovation, the best part for the students to practice and to acquire innovation, it should start right from the school or college level. And before going for the big dreams, before targeting the big innovations, I suggest the youths, the students, to practice it in their daily life, in every single activity that we do in our daily life. By doing so, innovation will not be a kind of, what to say, very stylish term, but it will become a part of our life. And when it becomes a part of our life, in any stage of our life, whether we are doing business, whether we are going somewhere, whether we are facing certain problems in our life, obstacles in our life, but the art of innovating processes, the art of innovating business, the art of innovating life, this particular skill will get installed in yourself, and you will, with the passage of time, you will feel there is a tremendous power that is developing within you. And forget about business, forget about the product. It will mainly help you to survive. It will mainly help you to survive in today's competitive world. It will help you to overcome any obstacle, any challenges in your life. It will make you industry ready to face the world. That is my personal opinion, because this is the path that I have been following since a young age. As I told you, I used to always look out for innovation in small and simple activity. And I feel we all have the power, we all have the enthusiasm to create something of our own. Otherwise, we all have the power to at least add something new to the existing products. But we always take it a target. I think innovation should not be a target, it should be a part of your life. And this is how we should approach innovation right from a very young age, because it will help us to survive in today's world. That is my clear answer, and it is out of my own experience. So your every activity is a step towards who you will become tomorrow. It's a very important point. Whatever activity you are doing, be it you are following someone on social media, be it you are listening to someone's songs, you are getting inspired by someone, you are spending time with a group of friends. Now, how they are, I don't know. You are spending time with them. You are spending time with your partner. Your every single activity is a step towards who you will become tomorrow. So I become very conscious about this fact, with whom I'm spending my time, what kind of books I'm reading, what kind of music videos I'm watching, what kind of movies I'm watching, and all other such factors which are somehow interlinked with my life. I become very conscious about that, because there is an energy that comes from outside. and it gradually gets into our into our heart or into our mind. That's what I feel. And once it gets into us, if the energy is negative, then the outcome, the results in our actions will become negative. If we consume the positive energy from outside, then our results, our actions will be in the positive direction. And there is no doubt, it may take some time, but you will start receiving positive results in your life. You will see that your life will start changing very fast. Many people used to complain that they are not receiving good results in their life. I want to suggest them, take some moment, sit down and think about your life. Reanalyze what activities you have been doing all through these years and what activities you are still doing in your life. With whom you spend time, how they are, what kind of person they are, whom do you follow on social media, who makes you inspired, who makes you feel inspired, who are your idols, how is your partner? Because the main point that I want to make right now is that yes, we become successful, I agree, but we, in other sense, we don't become successful only by ourselves. It is a situation. A situation can make you a hero, or a situation can make you a zero. If you study the success stories of many people, big brands, you will come to know most of them came out from a specific situation. Situations are there in life, hurdles, problems, criticisms, rejections are there in life. These are not there to destroy you. Now there comes innovation. Innovation doesn't only mean that you have to do it in business. No. Start innovation at first with your own life. Re-innovate yourself. Relaunch yourself. Since our childhood, since the time we are born, we have received various experiences. Human beings are consumer of experiences. Human beings are consumer of products and services at second stage, what I feel. The first stage, we are the consumer of experiences. And that is why businesses also try how to give the experience to the end user. The world is running based on experiences. Either it is bad or good. So the experiences that we have been consuming from the time we got birth until today, based on that, we have received a personality of our own. All right. So once we become more matured in life, we cross 10 board examination, 12 graduation, higher studies. With the passage of time, we develop maturity. We get to see the real world beyond the classrooms. We see the actual world beyond the classrooms. We explore the world. We learn practically. And it's important, once you complete your studies or in between studies, I really suggest you, please take some time and explore the world. Life is not just about, getting stuck within a room or only, limiting yourself, your thoughts, your imagination, your visualization only through books. No, books are important, classrooms are important, but meanwhile, or at the same time, exploring the real world is also important, because what you will get is that you will get the experience, and experience is the only factor that can change your life. It can either destroy you if you take the bad experience, or if you take the negative experiences. It can make you successful if you take the positive experience, and also if you can convert the negative experience into a positive strength. There comes innovation, how to re-innovate yourself. So as my topic is about youth innovation, I strongly feel, yes, there is a need for youth innovation. If we talk about the present scenario, we can't deny the fact that, yes, we can see changes. We can see persons like Avishek Chakraborty doing extremely well in their respective fields, creating new benchmarks, inspiring many people at such a young age. But at the same time, by looking at the population of India, the number is not sufficient. It's still many youths. As I have been doing different seminars and webinars, motivational shows, keynote speeches, I have interacted with many students, online and offline. And what I have realized is that many students are just going to the colleges, going to the universities. They have to go there, attend the classes, then outside the college, they have to make fun, and that's it. When a student, when he's already matured, at least he's, what to say, 20 plus, 22 plus, even till that time, if he is not aware about what he exactly wants in life, what is the purpose of his breathing, what actually he's looking for in life, then how can you expect good results coming to your way? Good results will not come to you automatically. You have to earn for it. You have to work for it. You have to give the commitment. There is no shortcut to success. You have to take the long way. You have to work and work and work creatively. So I request, there is a huge need for youth innovation for a country like India. I request the participants, please, no matter in which direction you are moving in your life, I'm not suggesting that you should start business only. No. To maintain the stability of the country, we need every profession. There is a contribution for every profession. It's not only about the entrepreneurs and all. So whatever task you do, make innovation a part of your life. Because if you do that, then you will see that you will always stay a few steps ahead from the race. You will always stay ahead from the race in every field, no matter where you go. And it will transform your life. It will give you better results. It will make you more productive in nature. So this is my request to all of you. Kindly try to make innovation a part of your life. If you cannot build rockets, if you cannot make a lot of great products, okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's not important that everyone should go for making rockets. Whatever task you can do, with whatever you have, don't sit idle. Utilize your time. Dear friends, utilize your time. This is the best thing happened in my life. This moment. Now I'm sitting in front of my phone, speaking to all of you. And you know why it happened? Because I have worked for it. I have done a lot of sacrifices. I have lost my elder brother at the age of 15. I have lost my mother at the age of 18. I was lonely. I was fully depressed. People laughed at me. I was unable to speak English as well. Many people laughed at me. I got many criticisms so far in my life. There were multiple rejections. Can you imagine a guy holding just a 10% certificate and moving to the big companies in Kolkata, searching for a job? Can you imagine how the situation will be? There were repeated rejection in my life. And when you get repeated rejection, then there comes a point when the person starts questioning himself. Do I have any value in this world? Will I be able to make any impact in this world? That was kind of, stage that I had gone through. I have seen the stages where I didn't have any money to eat and I was sleeping empty stomach while during my stay in Kolkata, even in Malaysia, where I took a small break to relaunch my life. I have seen time which made me feel lonely after the death of my dear ones. There were no friends, nothing. During the time of party, everybody will come to support and motivate you. But in times of need, you will hardly find few persons will be there with you to support you, to motivate you, to invest their time in you. Because the world wants to see results. Nobody cares about what you are going through, what is the preparation, what you are facing. Nobody gives a damn about that. Everybody wants to see result. Most of the people want to see what kind of benefits they can get from you. Till that time they find benefits in you, they'll be in touch with you, they'll be so nice with you. Once their work is done, they will start forgetting you. This is the fact. Welcome to 2020. This is the fact. Now, there is a world where you will find a lot of cruelty, a lot of negativity, criticizing, politics and all. So what I want to say about the politics is that I have seen the politics, the corporate politics entrepreneurial politics as well, in various networking events, while speaking to investors and all. So what I want to say is that be aware of what is happening. I mean, be aware of the politics, but don't get deeply involved with the politics. It will destroy you. It's a very negative practice. That's what I want to say you. This is out of my own personal experiences. My life suddenly changed at a very young age, and I had no hopes. I had no degrees. I had no qualification. I had no friends, no one, nothing, nothing. I was completely depressed and lonely, locked within a room for many months. I thought of committing suicide. There were kind of suicidal tendencies after the death of my mother. When my brother passed away, I thought, okay, fine. Still my parents are there. My father, my mother is there, whom I love a lot, and I should live for them. It was very tough for me to pass that stage. It was not fully passed. And again, there was a sudden heartbreak for me. My world, my mother, she left me suddenly when I was just 18 years old. And that stage is very crucial for any youth, because directly or indirectly, the contribution of mother is involved in the success of a person. You have to agree to that. And when a person becomes more matured, that is a different stage. But when you are building your life, when you are at the stage of like 17, 18, so these are the stages where the contribution of your parents, the contribution of your mother is very important to shape your life. But unfortunately, you know, I got disconnected to my mother, and due to all those repeated depression, I lost my grandparents as well continuously. Due to all those depressions, my mother was ill for over 12 years. We had struggled to live a life for over 12 years. Although my father is doing a job, but his money was all over by spending it to save my mother in medical expenses, moving to different places. So over 12 years, it's not a small period of time. You will agree to that, right? Over 12 years, we had struggled every single day. Every single night was so tough for us to pass on, because my mother was in a very bad condition. It was horrible. The symptoms were horrible. It was so frightening. So my childhood was full of pain. That's what I agree. And as you know, due to depression, I dropped out from school when I was in class 11. I did my metric from DPS Nazira, and I dropped out in class 11 because I could not take the depression any longer. I don't know why, you know, I became directionless in life, and there were kind of suicidal thought that arise in my mind to quit my life after the death of my mother. But then I thought, is this the reason why my parents have given me birth? Is this the outcome of their hard work, of their time, of their energy, of their earnings, of their love that they have invested in me to see just, you know, this kind of horrible result? Never. Never. I cannot let my parents go down. I cannot disvalue their contribution that they have done for me. Now, while I'm growing up, I'm getting more experiences, I'm becoming more matured. Now I realize how difficult it is to raise a child. While I was young, I used to ask for this and that from my father. And I never thought how he is managing all these things, how my father is feeding all of us. Although my mother was in bad condition and we were going through financial crisis, even at that point of time also my father somehow managed to feed us, to give us the food, to give us the time, at least some time every day. I didn't realize that at that point of time, but now when I'm getting matured, I'm growing up, now I feel how difficult it is to raise a child. So whenever you think of giving up, whenever you think of sitting down in life, if not for yourself, please think about your parents just for a while. Think about the smile that they have just for a while. Think about the first toy that your father had given to you. Think about that time where your parents used to share their dreams regarding you, what they want you to become, and how they are sacrificing their happiness, how they are sacrificing their comfort zone so that you can feel comfortable in reading, so that you don't have to face hurdle towards fulfilling your dreams, no matter how they live, what stage they go through, from where they manage the money. So I request you, never think of giving up in life. This is what I have learned. I have learned it the hard way. I was that point of time where I was about to quit my life, but I thought, no, I will bounce back. I will come back again. I will relaunch myself. I took a break. I went to Malaysia. I started exploring life. I started spending time more with the nature instead of people, because the people around me didn't give me good experience. I'm not targeting all the people. Yes, there are certain group of people who are selfish, and unfortunately, I was not in touch with such good people. So instead of wasting time with those people, I started spending time with nature, with animals, with dogs, with birds, by standing near the ponds, and I found a new definition of life. I found the purpose of life. Why am I living? Entrepreneurship, innovation, engineering, medical, teaching, or whatever profession that comes at a later stage. The first stage is identify yourself. Identify yourself. Why you are living? What is the purpose of your breathing in this world? Why? Why every moment you are breathing? Why? Is it just to watch Bollywood movies? Is it just to, spend time with your partners, going on a date? Is it just only for temporary amusements? Is it just only for spending or making some fun with your friends? Or is it just only for trying to buy a bike right after you pass your 10 examination? Does it value only a bike, a two-wheeler? That is the big question for you, because I have gone through that stage. I can feel the mentality of the students, what kind of thoughts that come into the mind when we cross 10 or 12 like that at that stages. So what I feel, once you start practicing innovation, once you start making innovation a part of your life, then your entire thought structure will get changed tremendously. You will no longer find satisfaction in doing the temporary amusements, your temporary pleasures. You will feel, what are these? That makes no sense for me. This is not what I'm supposed to do. This is not why my parents have invested their time, their money, their sacrifices in me. No, I can add more value in this world. Now the question is how? And the answer is your profession. I told you how to add value in this world. Either, it may be through entrepreneurship, it may be through teaching, it may be through social service, it may be through engineering, it may be through medical. But to all the participants, those who are listening here right now, I want to tell you one thing today. No matter which profession you choose, as per your capability and interest or your passion, but always connect your profession with social responsibility. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, it doesn't matter how much money you earn. What most important is that how much satisfaction you are earning in life. It will help you to live a life. If you earn a lot of money, but you are not happy with what you are doing in life, then your life will become worse. It's okay to earn a little less, but it's important to be happy in life, to stay happy in life. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't earn a lot of money. You know why? Because I'm a social entrepreneur. My passion is to help people live a better life, be it through my lectures, be it through my audio visual content, be it through my business ventures, be it by creating good music, be it any source that I can find, be it through my writing, my articles, my poems, my books. I always help people to live a positive and peaceful life. So once you become attached to the social world, not only with the materialistic world, I have to buy this, that, that car, that house, that clothes, that brand. If you choose that kind of life, it will never give you happiness. Because things are changing so fast, technology is changing so fast, you will never be happy with what you have today. So it's okay to earn a little bit less, but it's highly important to be happy in life. If you are happy, then yes, you can create more wealth in your life. With the passage of time, You can make your child good. You can teach them what is life and how to live a life, how to become a warrior, not just a person who gives excuses. Problems, everybody have problems. Who doesn't have problems? I'm not saying that it only happens with me, that I'm only the victim of depression. No, that is not the truth. Everybody have problems in some from other. We all are going to tough stages, and life itself is a problem. Life is not a solution. Life is a problem that you need to solve through what you do, through innovation, through entrepreneurship, through what profession you choose. Life itself is a problem. When we are born, we all have the same body organs. Expect few people. I don't want to mention about that due to natural, what to say, circumstances or whatever. But most of us, we all have the same body organs. We all have the same power within us. God has not given someone special credibility. It's all the hard work. Yes, we see someone on the screen as, okay, he is or she is very talented, multi-talented, God-gifted. No, there is nothing called God-gifted. You have seen that person on the screen just now, and you made a judgment. He or she is God-gifted. Take some time, study about their life, go back to the past years, and you will get the answer. There is nothing called God-gifted. It's all about self-build, self-made. You have to build your life. We got this body. This is just a covering. It is just a covering. Once I die, it will be finished. But my principles, my thoughts, my way of living, my creations, be it poem, be it article, be it music, that will always be alive in the hearts of thousands and thousands of people. And that's what I call a life. That's what I call a life. It's not about how much money I make. It's about how many people I have touched from my work. How many people I have touched from my lectures, from my writings, from my music, from my business activities. How many people I have given employment. How many people I have helped to make them self-reliable. That is the actual achievement of life. Yes, I have received some recognition awards, but awards are not my achievement. My achievement is you. The people that you are listening to me right now, your time has value. Likewise, my time is also valuable. But why you are listening to me? Because you have a faith in the speaker that he or she will be teaching you something that you don't know so far. Now, I'm also a young boy. Now, how I'm able to teach you a shared experience? The answer is I have worked hard. I have gone through the ups and downs of life. So the golden statement is that problems, hurdles, criticizing, rejection, these are not a curse for you. These are not something negative thing for you, or these are these are not something to be feel ashamed or to feel scared about. Problems, criticizing, or what to say, rejections, these are a blessing for you. These are an opportunity to relaunch yourself. If I look back at my own story, I came out from a situation. Otherwise, by so far, or by this time, I would have been studying in some colleges. But it was the situation. It was the situation behind me that forced me to become a warrior in life. Nobody thought that a guy with just 10 pass in today's competitive world where thousands of graduates are lying down without any employment, nobody have ever thought that this guy from a small village, from a small town of Assam, will catch national headline one day. Nobody thought that. Everybody laughed at me. When I was sharing my aim, people laughed at me. Are you kidding? They thought like that. But yes, turning the impossibility into possibility is the sign of an actual warrior. Turning the impossibility into possibility is the actual warrior. We don't want things that is ready-made. We will make our own food and we will eat. That's what I follow. You don't have to give me the food. I will work, I will earn, I will purchase, and I will make my own food. That is innovation. That is innovation. When you give your child a ready-made food, then they will become dependable on you, and they will not get into the depth of the process. How to cook the food, from where to purchase the food, what is the price of the food, how much money it is taking every day to produce that food. they will not be aware of that. So if you have child, I suggest you at least twice or thrice in a month, allow your children to make something at least by themselves. It is a learning for them to understand the value of things, the value of food, the value of money, and it will help them to become self-reliable, self-dependent. Once you start depending on someone, from that point of time, the power of creativity in you starts decreasing gradually. Trust me, from the moment you start depending on someone, the power of creativity that is already within you, within ourselves, that decreases gradually. So if your life is full of problems, full of challenges right now, be it financial, be it any kind of domestic or family issues or whatever, be it any trouble in your career, in your workplace, with your boss, with your teacher, relax. It's okay. None of the millionaire, they became successful without having problems. Having problems is natural, but the actual thing is how you are overcoming them and how you are relaunching yourself out of those problems. So accept the problem. As I told you, I came out from a situation. I had two options. Either I should quit the life, or I should accept the situations of life as it is. Instead of quitting my life, I have chosen. I stood up. I gathered the courage in me. I gathered the courage to accept the problems, the situations, the laughings that were throwing at me, criticizing everything, that whatever came on my way, I have accepted everything as it is. Okay, fine. Problems are there. Okay, fine. Come on. Let's face it. Come on. Let's see who will win. My competition is not outside. My competition has always been inside me. I always try every single day, every single moment. What am I watching? To whom I'm listening? Whom I'm following? With whom I'm spending time? Every single day, every single moment. And that is why today I'm able to share the experience with you all. That is why today the organizer have invited me as a speaker. It is my achievement. I have earned for it. I don't have any personal connection with them. I don't know any of them. I have earned for it. So this is not a kind of proud sense or to feel pride, but it is an example to let you feel and to let you show. If you have the zeal to re-innovate yourself, if you have the desire, a burning desire in you to impact this world one day, then trust me, friends, nobody and nothing, none of the rejection, none of the criticism, none of the criticizing will be ever able to stop you from becoming successful in life. If you can stay determined to the purpose of your living, the purpose of your life, if you can stay determined, then you will touch the sky one day. And trust me, friends, there will be a lot of rejection. And once you start achieving something, once you come on screen, once you come to the limelight on media and all, there will be a group of people who will start attacking you without any reason. Without any reason. I have gone through that. You don't have any problem with them, but they will start attacking you. The reason is that everybody is not happy with your success. That's fine. And it's not required as well. Okay, fine. If you are not happy with my success, that's okay. I'm not asking to be happy with my success, but I'm happy with what I'm doing. That's important. That's important because it's important to be happy in life, no matter what you do. I do small activities, but yes, I'm happy. I'm happy with whatever I'm doing, and that is why I can generate more new ideas. It gives me peace of mind, and once my mind is in a peaceful state, I can generate more ideas in life. I can transform other lives as well. One more lesson I have learned in my life so far is that never try to satisfy every people around you. no matter how good you become, no matter how much qualified you become, no matter how much time you invest, no matter whatever you do, but there is always a group of people who will always remain unhappy with you. There are some people who will always remain unhappy with you no matter what kind of change you bring in yourself. So trying to impress or satisfy everyone around you is just a waste of time. And I don't believe that. I don't appreciate that. Be happy, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, because if you can stay determined, the world will need you one day, and the world will be bound to need you one day. That's what I want to tell you. As our time is very close to end, now I will quickly jump to the entrepreneurship part. The innovation part took some time because I wanted to make you understand in a better way by giving the life examples from my own life as well. Thank you for staying connected to the webinar. Thank you for listening to me. It's a great pleasure to share my words and feelings with you. Now I'm going to the entrepreneurship part. See, if we talk about entrepreneurship, what I have realized is that the art of taking initiative is the first requirement. Right from the school or college level, we should be equipped with the art of taking initiative. It can be a social initiative, it can be a family initiative, event initiative. Take initiatives as much as you can. Entrepreneurship is nothing but an initiative. So which you are solving a problem. You are addressing a problem and you are solving it. So the art of taking an initiative and executing the initiative is the first requirement for entrepreneurship. And if we talk about the successful companies of today, all the big brands, if you look at them closely, you will find there is a common concept where they are based on, and that concept is PSP, problem solving product. All the major brands, all the big brands in this world are mainly based on that concept, PSP, problem solving product. Even we are also doing that, because the major difference between an entrepreneur and a traditional businessman, what I see is that a businessman will always look for only money, no matter from where it comes, no matter how legal or illegal that work is. There are people, even they will do illegal tax. They need money, 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 money. But an entrepreneur is a responsible professional who will address certain problems of the society and who will try to bring a solution to that, so that the human life can be much easier. It can become more easier. And if we talk about technology, doing a business has become much easier now if we compare with the previous time. Earlier, to do the marketing, as marketing is a very, very integral part, or is a very major part of the business, because what I'm creating, what product or service I'm creating, what value I can give you. If you don't know about that, then how you will come to know about me? How you will come to me? From where I will earn? So marketing is a very important part of the entrepreneurial journey. A great entrepreneur is always a great marketer. He knows how to market his products and services and when and where to market them. So this is the main point, is that to do the marketing now with the change in technology, with the transformation with digital technology, people are getting more connected to the internet. People are getting more connected to the social media. If we compare with the previous times, now even in villages, I have seen people are using Instagram, people are using Facebook. So earlier when I started a business, then we had to go outside and we have to put the banners, hoardings and all. Then again in rainy season, it becomes very difficult. We put it out there, and after the rain, it gets removed. It gets destroyed, washed away. But now with the technology, we can directly target the audience that I want for that specific product or service. I can choose the age group, I can choose the gender, I can choose the location. So now the marketing process has become very simpler with the advancement in digital marketing methods or the digital technology. So what I feel, doing business has become much easier if we compare with the previous one. If you look at the companies like Oyo, Ola, Uber, and there are many aggregators, so they don't have, and many e-commerce companies as well, they are following the drop shipping model. they don't have their product. They are just building the process. Innovation should not be only in product. Many people think that innovation means only that it should be in the product. No, innovation can be initiated in the service as well. And there are many big companies, they are doing simple tasks. They are just building the process, the SOP, standard operating process, a specific process for which a particular problem has been solved for a huge people. So if we talk about entrepreneurship, I think this is the best time. This is the best time to do business. Apart from the pandemic, but if we talk about technically, this is the best stage for the youth to do startup. You can easily start your business with just few clicks. You can consult with a CA, or you can reach out to platforms such as Vakil Search, India Filings. They will do everything for you. You just sit back and relax. Your documentation will be done. So now, if you talk about the idea should be always kind of need. You have to identify what is the need of the people. And you may think, sir, how to find the idea? To find a great idea, you have to closely monitor the practical world. People's likes, dislikes, problems, everything. And the social media platforms, startup platforms such as Your Story, INC42, and Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes India. Follow these things. If you want to become an entrepreneur, surround yourself with the books, movies, videos, media platforms, everything that is related to entrepreneurship. Because the success that we see in our action, it comes from the surrounding. We become successful in a particular field because of the surrounding. It plays a major role in the success process. The people around us, the resources around us, the accessibility process. We access to what kind of movies, what kind of contents. It will decide what kind of action will come in your life, what kind of productivity you will generate in the next coming days in your life. So closely monitor the practical world, and you will find some ideas. Now the question is great idea important to build a great company? No. Everybody have ideas. Most of them have ideas. Only ideas alone never makes big companies. It's the great ideas along with a great team. You need to build your army. Now where you will get the co-founder or the team? You have to closely monitor your attached people or someone you have been following through social media as well. Because the right talent, please listen carefully. The right talent, when it is attached with the right idea, it can create magic. It can create magic. Human skill plus great idea means the needs of the people. If we can combine these two, then it can create magic. And the third requirement is marketing. Marketing. It's an important part of the business. But marketing process should be in a standard manner. The type of content you are writing, call to action button, how you're engaging the people. And always while doing entrepreneurship, you have to take a mission and market your mission to the people. Say your mission to the people, what you are solving, whom you are helping. Because if you can sell the mission to the people, they will get engaged with you emotionally. In every activity, in our practical life, emotion plays a major role. Be it music production, be it writing, be it teaching, be it any kind of social service, be it entrepreneurship, emotion plays an important role. Be it making a marketing ad everywhere, be it making movies. What is there? Emotion. In certain parts, the creative persons behind those contents, they used to place the emotion. So even in business, you should know how and where to place the emotion so that people can get connected with you. Once people get connected with you, if people get engaged with you, then you don't have to invest a lot of money in marketing. Because for a startup, you don't have the money. You do bootstrapping, or you raise money from your family and friends, or you start with very minimum fund. So you cannot spend a lot of money by promoting your service. And if you don't do marketing, then how people will come to you? How you will get the sales, right? So always find a mission which is relatable to your audience and where the audience can be engaged. Because by doing so, you will get the strategy of organic branding. Once you know how to do organic branding, then your business will take a big jump. That is a secret. So as I told you, always follow the problem solving product concept. Don't do business blindly. Find a problem and try to solve it through your business. The solution is a business. And now the question is, how many people are facing that problem? Okay, you found a problem. Now, how many people are facing the same problem? This answer will let you know the market size. You will come to know to what extent your business can be scalable. Because yes, a idea should be great to help people. At the same time, it should be a scalable business model, scalable, so that with the passage of time, it can be scaled up. The business should not be only restricted within a small town. It should be scalable. Okay. And for example, if I open a shop in my hometown, I am selling some products. I'm getting a good amount of sales. People have started coming to my shop regularly. I'm getting good amount of sales. But no matter how much I try, I will not be able to cross the records. You know why? Because I am restricted physically. That is why now here comes the important part, that is technology friendly. Your business should be technology friendly. By doing so, without physical expansion, without investing a lot of money, you can easily increase the market size. For example, the e-commerce company. The malls are restricted within a small region, a small market. If you look at the e-commerce, they have no boundary. They have a huge market. Now, what is the concept? Technology. So always make your business technology friendly, because people are now diverting themselves to the technological world, to the technical attachments, be it through social media, whatever. Always make it technology friendly. Then your business will be easy to use for them, and it will get a scalable model. That's what I feel. Now the revenue part. You are doing a business, but you need a revenue model. There are many startup guys who makes a business, who simply go to GoDaddy and all, buy a domain, open a Facebook page, simply update their status on Facebook. I'm the founder of so-and-so startup. This is not going to help you in a long run. Then they used to approach the media startup. Please write an article on me. They will share it on social media. They will get some likes, comments, a kind of exposure, and they think that, okay, now I'm becoming successful. No, I have seen this kind of guys. They doesn't, stay for a long duration of time. They are just kind of, midfielders or like that, kind of seasonal players. So always try, your motive should not be to gain short-term attentions. Please listen to me carefully. While doing entrepreneurship, your motive should not to get short-term exposure or attention, limelight. It will not help you. It will not give you money. It is just about a few likes and comments on social media. It will not help your business. Your motive should be to stay longer. And to stay longer, your business model should be scalable. It should be technology friendly, and there should be a clear revenue model. Clear. Many people start business, but they are not sure about from where they will get the money. What is the subscription plan? What is the actual price of the product? How much profit he will be earning? So make a clear revenue model. That should be clear, and try to make recurring revenue model. If you make recurring revenue model, it will be kind of passive income. See, while doing business, you will be struggling a lot, but if you never give up, then in future, and if you keep upgrading yourself and your product, it's important, keep upgrading yourself and your product, then in future, there will be a time when money will start working for you, and you will no longer need to start working for money. Money will start working for you. And from that stage, the amount of money, it will be uncontrollable. Uncontrollable it will be. And to reach that stage, now you have to do the hard work. You have to learn the concepts. You have to shape the business. You have to make it technology friendly. You should build recurring revenue model. You have to build alternative source of income. Now, for example, in our case, now due to pandemic, our food startup is blocked now. But what we are doing, we are using social media to generate alternative source of income by selling different products through online. And even we are not keeping the stock as well, by just connecting the suppliers. So that is innovation. That is innovation. It's a simple form of innovation. So small innovation can bring a big change in your life. It can increase, it can help you to increase your income level. Think about it, think smartly. You don't have to do a lot of things. Just take some time every day. Concentrate on this world. Look at the lives of people, look at the situations. And I'm sure you'll find great ideas to transform your life and someone's life as well. I'm going to the last part.
Can I pitch in, Hiranmoy?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Thank you for this wonderful, your sharing your experiences. Now, some of the participants have some queries. So maybe if you can take some 5 minutes, that their queries, if you can address them, they'll be very happy with that. So can you continue with that, with the Q&A session?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because I hope that you covered extensively, even a lot of takeaways for me also, because when you know that you iterated some of the things which are there in the textbook, but actually which is coming from a real entrepreneur, that to a young entrepreneur, like innovation is the key for entrepreneurship. And also this reanalyze your life, because what life has given to you, what you can do to the society, reanalyze, experience by exploring. You told that you'll have to see that what you can take from the world. And also multiple failures and repeated rejections. These are some of the things which it was very inspiring. And I just truly can see that all the participants also sharing the same responses, that your words of motivation has kindled them that spirit towards entrepreneurship or interest in entrepreneurship. And you told that everybody should make an impact, and the purpose of life, that's very important, and you also should motivate, correct? But I could see at the same time, few of them wanted some the solutions or answers from your side. So can I pose the questions one after the other, so that you can just give a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes, to address those queries? So one of them told that how to come out of this comfort zones, because you told that entrepreneurship, to become a successful entrepreneur, now you'll have to leave, or you'll have to come out of your comfort zones. So any tips for that, how to come out of our comfort zones?
Their aim is not strong enough so far. When you love dreams in your sleep, then it will not help you to go a long way. You have to love dreams in reality. If you have taken a dream which is full of passion, then it will not let you to sit comfortably. That is my answer. Rethink about the aim of your life. My aim is framed in such a way that it doesn't let me to sit comfortably. I'm bound to leave my comfort zone. That is my aim. My aim has forced me to leave my comfort zone. So choose such an aim in life that will force you to leave the comfort zone.
Yes. One more query is that how to come out from fear, or maybe the negative experiences, negative beliefs, correct? And maybe the people around us. How to come out of all this, the negatives, is what one more query. Because you told one point you are surrounded with negatives, a lot of negativity is around us. So how to come out of that?
The first and to the point answer: delete the unnecessary people from your life immediately. The first answer: delete the unnecessary people from your life immediately right now. The second answer: to remove the fear, you have to face the world. If you sit in the bedroom and if you think, sir, how to remove the fear, that is not going to help you, dear. You have to go outside. You have to meet people. You have to communicate with people. You have to attend different examinations, be it interviews, examination. Because if you sit for examination, then it will help you to remove the fear. Even I was a victim of fear in my time. But what I thought, instead of, because see, sometimes your imagination cannot be true in reality. So you have to come out from your imagination by facing the real world. And please be ready to face some rejection. Once you face couple of rejection, this fear will be automatically out from your mind. And the last part is negativity, negative belief. See, the negative belief, there is only one solution. What I believe should be true. That's it. If my own sense of thinking is protected and strong, then the negative beliefs cannot, connect with me, or it cannot divert my thoughts. I have my own direction in life. Be clear. I have my own direction in life. I have my own values, own principle, own thought structure, because behind every people, there is a thought structure. If your thought structure is strong, then outside energy cannot hamper you.
Yes, yes, Hiranmoy. Thank you. Now, one more question is that, is it compulsory to visit a counselor or therapist if you are going some disturbance in life?
Yes, I feel because the power of tolerance, or the power of what to say, the bearing power. Everybody is powerful equal. So yes, if he or she feels that I should get in touch with a professional who can handle this issue with more professional purpose, because they're trained professional, they're trained in that field. So I think they can go for it, or otherwise they can get in touch with some dear ones who can help them. And if he or she cannot find any dear one, then I strongly suggest please go to a counselor, because they are professionally trained to handle those situations.
One more last question. Now, since you told that now we need to have some better understanding with the family members, because entrepreneurship means most of the time family members may not agree. So, how to make better understanding with the family members or relatives?
In my case, I faced the same stage, and I think most of the entrepreneurs have gone through the same stage. At the initial stage, family doesn't support us. And the answer is that at first, keep quiet and start working. Keep quiet, silently work. Once you will show the result, family will be convinced automatically. That's what happens with me. My dad was not at first convinced with what I was doing. But when he saw in different newspapers, my productivity, my physical change, my thoughts, my psychological changes, then he's bound to believe in me. So don't beg someone to believe in you. Instead of that, make someone bound to believe in you. Attract someone with your success, not with your excuses, not with your prayers.
So with that small note, we thank you for sharing your expertise and accepting Father's request. You have joined here in this webinar, and you shared your valuable insights and your real-time experiences, which has motivated many of the participants, because I could see that their post in the chat box, which says that it's truly inspiring. Correct? So we wish you well, and thank you for being here and extending your support and motivating all of us during this last 1 hour. I wish once again and pray once again that your entrepreneurial journey, let it go well, and we wish to see you in greater heights. Thank you, Hiranmoy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks to you, thanks to the principal, sir, and all the participants who gave me their valuable time and listened to my story. And I'll be waiting to hear your stories as well on the other side. And to all the dear participants, I wish you all the best. Be strong. Problems will be there. If you can stay determined, remember the world will need you one day. With this, I close my session. Thank you so much, and I love you all. Be happy.
Thank you, Hiranmoy. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye. So, shall we start with the next session, Father? Yes, Father. Am I audible, Father? Because some of them are saying that my voice is not audible. So, is it audible, Father?
Sometimes it goes a metallic sound and it becomes
Okay.
some echoing comes. Some part now it is clear.
It's clear, Father? Okay. Okay. So, as we move on to the session 2, now we have one more speaker with us. I'll formally introduce you in a while. Before that, let me tell you that what is that session. So we concluded session 1 with Hiranmoy sharing his real entrepreneurial experiences and journey, and we all are excited. Now let us move on to the session 2, which is entrepreneurial mindset among Generation Y. Now to share his part of story, we have here MrNeichuteDoulo, who's the CEO of the Entrepreneurs Associates. So to give a brief, the profile of Mr. Neichuto has been impacting lives with this visionary initiative of transforming the Naga society with a focused approach of unleashing the powers of economic empowerment. He is an authority in the field of entrepreneurship in Nagaland. He has been shaping the way people view entrepreneurship in the state for the last 17 years. He believes that Nagas will have to change the way they perceive entrepreneurship or be overwhelmed by the tide of economic upheavals that are going to come along with globalization. His works have been recognized both in the state as well as internationally, being the first Naga recipient of the International Ashoka Fellow headquartered in Washington, D.C., USA in 2001. He was also awarded the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2016, India, by the prestigious Club Foundation World Economic Forum. At the regional level, he was recognized for his contribution to the Northeast by the Telegraph Northeast Excellence Award 2017. Locally, he is the recognized figure of social reformation, being the fifth recipient of the Naga Mothers Association Award in 2003 for developing entrepreneurship in the state. The Chakesam Youth Forum Front have also given him a Lifetime Achievement Award 2006 for being a social entrepreneur and a youth who has immensely contributed to the social change in the state. Mr. Neichute taught economics for 2 years for undergraduate students in the year 1998 to 2000 in Baptist College, Kohima, and has been a guest faculty on entrepreneurship to many prestigious institutions. He is a grade A national level empaneled national resource person by the NIRD and PR, National Rural Livelihood Mission RC, a member of the country's premier policy think tank, Niti Aayog, Standing Committee CSOs for Livelihoods and Financial Inclusion, and the State Level Audit Advisory Board member, Nagaland. Sir, we welcome you, Mr. Neichute. Now, I request you to take over the session and give your insights on the topic. Welcome you, sir, and over to you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, sir, for the time, and thank you for the generous introduction. I'm very happy to be here this morning with the students and also the eminent panelists. And I am happy to be with my all-time friend, MrGopen Moses from Imphal. And it's good to talk about entrepreneurship during this lockdown process. I felt the spirit of entrepreneurship can solve a number of human problems because entrepreneurs think out of the box. And so it's great to interact with the university students and teachers, explore on how we can change our mind, our attitude towards entrepreneurship. Now that's important because for a country like India, I would say that there is huge need for entrepreneurship, and more so for a region like in Northeast India. The need to take up entrepreneurship is far more expressed than in the other regions of the country. But however, having said that, entrepreneurship is the key to development and economic growth. This is something the country has missed for a long time. And for a long time, the country thought that policies of industrializations will bring economic development to the country, which is of course true to some extent. But even if we have industrial development, if we don't have the entrepreneurial spirit among the people, the economy and the society will not develop as much as we want it to be. For instance, David Hall, one of the scholars in America and who has written extensively on entrepreneurship, he said, where his book is studied as textbooks in American schools and colleges, he said that America was built by entrepreneurs and is continued to be driven by entrepreneurs. And America is not ashamed to say that entrepreneurs are the ones who have made America. I thought that was nice because the textbook was published in the early 80s, whereas only now a country like India for the last 10 years is openly talking about entrepreneurship. We need to do more about entrepreneurship. India as a country has been for a long time what we call under mixed economy, meaning that it is partly socialist, partly capitalist. And in 1991, under P.V. Narasimha Rao, the late Prime Minister of India, and under the finance ministership of Dr. Manmohan Singh, India changed its economic gears from Nehruvian economy, which is a lot of time hugely skewed towards socialism. It changed to capitalism. And therefore, the famous economic structural changes, which is known as LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization became the order of the day for the country. And we all know that in the last 29 years, a sea of change has happened in the economic structure, economic system of the country. And this means we need huge amount of entrepreneurs in the country. Now the private enterprise, the entrepreneurship is much more pronounced than in the days of 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, or 1990s. Therefore, so for the generation, what we call the millennial generation, I want to challenge this generation to think about entrepreneurship. In Northeast India, entrepreneurship is not a celebrated profession. In fact, parents would discourage their children to take up entrepreneurship because for parents, the ideal job or the most coveted profession is government job. And this is true because in Northeast today, if you see a young person passing out IAS, now there is nothing wrong in passing IAS. Please don't get me wrong. You can be an IAS, you can pass out IPS, you can pass out IRS services. But then, when somebody passes an IAS, there seems to be huge applause and acknowledgement to the extent of naming that person as a good son or daughter of the parents. And the parents also get applauded to such an extent that it is implicitly told in society that the parents are also good parents. But if you choose entrepreneurship, probably your family will run it down. Your family will discourage you. In fact, your society will not recognize you. In fact, your college lecturers, your college teachers, your school teachers will not celebrate with you on taking up entrepreneurship. And therefore, the social expectations in Northeast India, when it comes to entrepreneurship vis-a-vis with government jobs, entrepreneurship does not get the limelight. But I want to encourage the new generation that if India has changed its economic gears, and if America, Japan, Germany, UK have led the economy through the entrepreneurial mindset, I want young people of the day to think different from what has been told by their parents or by their schools or colleges or by their society. This will be the challenge for the millennial generation. And therefore, everybody will not get into business. Everybody may not take up business. That is perfectly okay. But for those people who want to take up entrepreneurship, I want you people to be bold enough to say no to what your family might push you into taking up government jobs. In fact, if some of you are determined to become wealth creators, I want to encourage you that the time is far better than 30 years ago. We will continue to have challenges because whether you are in Northeast India, whether you are in a country like underdeveloped economy or developing economy like India, the challenges will be always true, even if you are placed in developed economies. And therefore, for us, we need the right attitude. We need the right mindset. And that right mindset I would like to propose is that you must have a mindset of the employer rather than the employee. The employee mindset is to appear an exam, pass that exam, and get into a government job. Or the employee mindset is to work for a good company, for a good corporate, and become the CEO one day. The employer's mindset is to find out a problem, to solve that problem and create wealth out of that problem. Now, entrepreneurs are, that is why, known as problem solvers. For instance, if in your locality you do not have sufficient laptops for children to get access to technology for virtual classroom, who knows? The opportunity for you could be selling laptops at this point of time. If you know that in your locality, if people are not accessing organic vegetables, and if you have land, by the way, you could start a farm because there is money in farm. If you think that there is not a good restaurant in your locality or in the town where you live in, of course, because of lockdown now, restaurant, but this also will pass, this will change. So if you can provide excellent food for your community, you can start a restaurant. And the restaurant has got very good, attractive money. If you know that there is no good lodging hotel, you could start a good lodging hotel, clean bed sheets, clean pillows, and you could solve the problem of not having a good hotel in your town or in your locality or in your city. If you know that you can take up some startups where you can create technology-driven solutions for markets or for health services or for education. During this time of lockdown, there is huge opportunity for education apps that can be developed so that children can study well from home. If you are good in technology, these are opportunities that will come in. But if you're looking for a job, you would look for somebody to employ you rather than you will think of ways of creating that employment opportunities, not only for yourself, but for others as well. So number one, you must get the mindset of the employer and not of the employee. Number two, to me, to get the entrepreneurial mindset, I believe that we need to de-learn some of the things that we have learned. For example, de-learning is much more tougher than learning new things. I'll give you an example of how we keep on, I don't know whether you have studied that, but when I was in kindergarten, we studied about Jack and Jill going, up the hill to fetch water. And the story goes that Jack fell down and broke his leg. And so we have this nursery rhyme. But for example, in Naga Hills, we don't go up the hills to fetch water. We all go down the hill to fetch water because our villages are perched on the hilltop. And therefore, we go down the mountain where there is perennial spring. We bring water to the village. So these nursery rhymes that we grew up is not relevant. And we also have nursery rhymes where we talk about apple. But as you know, in Nagaland, we don't see apple. And therefore, if the nursery rhymes is about how we go and rear pigs and we have piglets, it makes sense to a Naga young boy or girl, but apple may not make so much noise, a sense. And therefore, a lot of what we have learned during our times are not really contextual. What we have learned is about A, B, C, D, E, F, and 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 9. But we have not learned about what we can do in our context. So many of us begin to think that if we become a graduate, then we must get a government job or we must work in a company. Now that is not true. And so it is very difficult to unlearn something which has been told to us through the years, that you get good marks, you do well in your studies, and you will become a government officer and you shall live happily thereafter. These are the things that has been told to us by our parents and by our teachers. But as you know, these are not necessarily true. Therefore, we need to de-learn some of the things which have been told to us. And that is why we must unlearn the fact that if you get educated, you must walk back with a job. That is not correct. In fact, the other way should be, if you get educated, you should be able to create your own job and create jobs for others as well. Then that becomes entrepreneurial. Our whole ball game will change. But since we don't have these, I want to challenge the new generation to re-examine what you have learned over the years and relearn or learn what you have not learned. So becoming an employer mindset, de-learning what we have learned and learn what we have not learned is going to be challenging. The third point that I want to share with the young crowd today is that, you know, you must have come across the book written by Arvind, Future Shock. So the book on the future shock, Alvin Toffler, he wrote, and that got published, I think, in 1978 or 1970s. And in that book, he said that in the 21st century, the people who are literate will not be people who know how to read and write. But the people who are literate will be people who learn to learn new skills every day. And so how true is that? Today, I am learning to use a smartphone, which I did not know earlier. Children are faster than us in using smartphones, but we have to learn how to use it every day. We learned how to use computer some 20 years back. Today, we need to learn a lot of the smartphone skills. We need to relearn new skills every day. And so the third challenge for the entrepreneurial mindset will be, as the markets keep on changing, for instance, like now, during lockdown and during this COVID-19 pandemic, there are new opportunities, new businesses happening every day, and if we don't know how to take advantage of it, we will lose the race. We will get overwhelmed by the losses that is brought down by the lockdowns, that is brought down by this COVID-19 pandemic. So for us, even in business, we need to learn new business opportunities every day and get ourselves adapted to that opportunity, or else we get washed away. So what Alvin Toffler said in the 70s is true today, 40 years today. And so what we need to do with the entrepreneurial mindset is that we must begin to be innovative. We must look for opportunities. And I want to tell you that we must have the guts, the determination, to plunge into something which we may not know all about it. But if we know that it is going to solve problems, if it is going to create opportunities, go for it. That is what the entrepreneurial mindset, to me, is all about. Problem solving, employer's mentality, willing to learn and willing to unlearn, willing to learn new skills every day, willing to take risks. And for us, even if we do not know the whole answer, we jump into it because we know that that activity is going to do good for others. And therefore, I want to share with you what Henry Ford said about business. He said that if you can you can create a good product for people, then your business will succeed. This is true in the beginning of the 20th century, and even today, around the beginning of the 21st century, it is still true. Henry Ford, he decided to produce cheap assembly of motor parts and make cars available for every American, which in those days, only the super rich could afford motor vehicles. He changed the landscape of motor business. His intention was to make every American own a car so that they become more productive. And therefore, if you have in mind a useful product or a useful service to sell, you will succeed in that business. People may laugh at you, people may scorn you. It doesn't matter. Personally, I have been through such phase. In 1992, as a 19-year-old, when I first sold ice cream in the streets of Kohima, of course, in 1992, nobody has heard about ice cream in Kohima, so I was the first to sell ice cream. People laughed at me, but I managed to sell ice cream. In 1992, when we went out selling newspapers, it was something like, wow, you should not do it. It is meant for people from Bihar or people from UP to sell newspapers in Nagaland, not Naga boys and girls who are studying in the college. So people laughed at me, but I know that if I sell newspapers, I can get my pocket money. And I know that there is dignity in every labor as much as I going to college. And therefore, I went out and sold newspapers on the streets of Kohima. And my other college friends also joined me. And we all had a great time selling newspapers. And then we said, okay, let us move on to something more challenging. So we became porters. We started unloading and loading beddings of people, passengers from the Nagaland State Transport buses, and we carried it to their destinations. People paid us 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 5 rupees, depending on the distance that we carried. At first, people laughed at us, but after doing that for 2-3 weeks, people began to appreciate that, well, this is what Naga boys and girls should do. And so we became trendsetters. We started showing a new way where we can earn decent money by working hard and by showing that every work has dignity. In 1996, when I started selling in the streets, people laughed at it because by then I was doing my master's in economics. And you don't expect a person studying pursuing master's in economics to be selling in the streets. But we did it. And therefore, we showed that there is no shame or there is no humiliation in retailing and selling door to door. In 1998, we were the first to form a firm called Rich Home Service, where we sent boys and girls to do direct marketing. Now, at the time, it was not easy because people laughed at us. Today, it is easy. If you remember, 1998 was the first year when Government of India opened direct marketing companies to come in and do business in India. So you have like Amway, which is still around. You have like Avians, which came in. You have like DXN Books. You have a host of other companies that just came in and then started selling door to door. In fact, I still remember when I went to one of the churches, the preacher said that Amway and Avians, Oriflame, these are Antichrist. And he said that it's 666 because that was so new to people. And when you do direct marketing with networking system, that's a new market system which our people were not aware of. And so you can imagine people like us were laughed at about. People make jokes of us. But today, as you know, it's a new order of owning your own business by sitting in your home and being able to do business. And therefore, so I want to challenge young people. If people laugh at you, do not worry if you know that it is the right thing to do. If you decide to create an education app and your friends or family laugh at you, but you know that that app is going to help thousands of students, go for it. If tomorrow, because of lockdown, you realize that agribusiness is going to be important, please take up agribusiness. There is huge money in agribusiness. There is opportunity in agribusiness. If tomorrow lockdown gets over, and if you want to start a hotel business, even if people laugh at you because you have to mop the floors, you have to iron the clothes, you have to mop the tables, you have to clean toilets, do it. Because there is dignity in every work. So for the entrepreneur, there is nothing like, this is not my job. For the entrepreneur, everything is his responsibility. Everything is her responsibility. If he or she cannot take up extra job, he or she cannot be doing business. In business, there is nothing like that should be done by others. I'm not going to do it. If you see a paper, a sweet wrapper on the floor, pick it up. It's not your job. Somebody has left it there, but you need to clean it up. If you see that people are not coming on time, you must come on time. If you see that your staffs are leaving by 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you must be leaving at 7 p.m. So be the first to come to your work, be the last to go from your workplace. Nothing can substitute still hard work. People say that you must work smart and you don't have to necessarily work hard. But I tell you, you must learn how to work smart. But if you want to have the entrepreneurial mindset, you cannot substitute hard work. You need to learn hard work. And so the determination, the resilience, the guts, the will to prove your point when you know that it is going to serve good for others is what I call the entrepreneurial mind. Now, to have that entrepreneurial mind, do you need to do MBA? Well, if you have MBA, that's good. But I don't have an MBA, and my friend MrGopen Moses, who is one of the panelists today, he also doesn't have an MBA, but he started in the streets of Manipur selling door-to-door water and became the biggest packaged water seller in Imphal. I have not done any MBA. And so what we call ourselves are what we call the professionals from the streets. So we are from the street. If you have MBA, very good. If you don't have MBA, I would say it's still better. Because without having MBA, you'll be pushed to the wall to give your best. So it doesn't really matter what you study or what you know, but it will matter how much of yourself you are willing to give to your enterprise or to your business. And that is why I say that there's no substitute to hard work. The other point that I want to share with the entrepreneurial mind is, all of us must have heard about honesty is the best policy. I still want to tell you that today, in this 21st century, honesty is still the best policy. In business, if we're not honest, we will lose both our customers, our investors, and our suppliers. And therefore, while you need to be working hard, you need to be you must have ethics. You must be honest. And so if you have these ingredients, I don't see why you should fail. The country needs entrepreneurs much more than ever. Today, the country seems to be very happy making fun of China because of the Doklam issue and criticizing China. But I tell you, the entrepreneurial zeal of the Chinese is far more than the entrepreneurial zeal of Indians. In India, the vast majority of the people depend on welfare funds from government of India. If you take loan from banks, they expect it to be waived off during a grand election campaign. You don't have the entrepreneurial mind, you don't have the ethics to repay your loans, you expect it to be waived off. There is so much subsidy that people can buy rice even with 2 rupees, 3 rupees, or 5 rupees per kg. Now, this type of dependency does not create the entrepreneurial mind. In 2017, when I went to China to attend one of the World Economic Conferences, Li Kuan, the Prime Minister of China, came and spoke. And he was asked by people that how do China position itself given the fact that China is the manufacturing hub of the world, which means a lot of what China manufactures is dependent on being consumed by the outside world. And Li Kuan was very confident. He said that years ago, China could absorb hardly 20% of what we manufacture because the quality that we manufacture was too expensive for the Chinese market. Today, our economy has developed, and therefore, that was in 2017. He said 40% of what China manufactures is absorbed by the domestic economy. And I said, my gosh, can India ever get such confidence to say that what we manufacture for the world, 40% can be absorbed in our own domestic economy? And then this comes because of the high incidence of entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial spirits among the Chinese. So if we are to compete with China, we need to compete with the entrepreneurial mindset. If the Northeast India needs to come at par with the country It is not through government job. It is not through getting IS jobs. It is not through getting IPS jobs. It is through the entrepreneurial mind. If we have the entrepreneurial mind, Brahmaputra River will become a blessing. But Brahmaputra River is a sorrow to us. We don't know how to take advantage of Brahmaputra River. And therefore, you have no high-speed boat in Guwahati for tourists. You don't have entertainment facilities in the river of Brahmaputra. It's just starting, but it's too less and not fancy enough. So if we don't have the entrepreneurial mind, we will continue to depend on the government, and we will continue to blame the government for not providing us enough subsidies and grants. And so, my friends, I want to tell you that we need to change our perspectives. We need to change our attitude, and we must take up the entrepreneurial mindset. The new generation has to lead us. The new generation has to become our economic drivers. You have to become our economic pilots. And I want to encourage you people to become entrepreneurs. To be an entrepreneur is to be responsible. If you are not responsible for your business and for those hundreds and thousands of people who depend on your leadership, you cannot succeed. So for you to be an entrepreneur, you have to be responsible. That's what will change the face of Northeast India. That is what will change the face of the country. Of course, India has been for too long skewed towards socialism. And therefore, the growth of entrepreneurship is just increasing. But the new generation, if you are to compete with the world, we must become entrepreneurial. So I want to wish all the best to all of you. Think differently. Get the challenge of taking up the employer mindset. Have guts to do what you feel is correct. Have honesty, pride, have pride in your work. Work hard. Look for opportunities. If there are any in your vicinity, please solve those problems, either with technology or with agribusiness or with normal business systems, and take up entrepreneurship. Thank you. And I would be very happy to respond to some of the queries if you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your insights. Now, as you mentioned that for the Generation Y, entrepreneurial mindset among Generation Y, now I also would like to quote some of the points you iterated for the youth. Now, they need to have that employer mindset, and they need to have that relearn and unlearn characteristics. And as you told that every day they should try to learn new skills, which becomes very important for every youth and the younger generations. And also problem solving, risk taking ability, and be more responsible. And I am a commerce teacher, and I know this. In costing, we have something called as FIFO and LIFO. What we call FIFO and LIFO is that first in, first out, and last in, first out. But you made a point that something very different, which is first in and last out, FILO. That is not there in the costing book, but you told that being entrepreneur, we need to come early and we need to leave late. So we can come out with a new term, FILO. That's what I could make out from your presentation. And also you told that you are a professional from streets, because you didn't hide anything. You revealed that openly that even though you learned a lot of things from streets, which many of the youth doesn't like that. They like to call themselves as professionals, and they don't want to say themselves from the streets. But actually, the reality speaks. What you learned in the streets will be giving you much more than what you learn in the professional schools and institutions sometimes. So that has been very evident from your speech and address to the participants. And also about that, you told about the trend setting, making and earning money, but without losing your dignity, because you can do anything, because each and every work has its own dignity. So you also mentioned that. So a lot of takeaways from your session. And now, since some of the participants have put some queries on the chat box, I would like to ask one after the other so that you can address that queries, sir. Shall we go with that, sir?
Okay, sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thanks. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, can I come in?
Yes.
Sir, the
Hello.
first question is that entrepreneurs are born, not paid. Do you agree? That's what they are asking.
Okay. No, I don't think entrepreneurs are born, because I was not born an entrepreneur. I was born into a farming family. I think entrepreneurs are made. For example, Bill Gates also was not born to be a Microsoft, prodigy. He made it. Of course, as we all know, he couldn't enter study college, but we know that he is an excellent businessman. So also you have, I mean, all the businessmen, I would think even Henry Ford, who changed the way of automobiles for the world. He was also a farmer. And so at night he would work in a watch manufacturing company. That time he would work in his farm. And lo and behold, he innovated the famous Ford motors. So I don't think entrepreneurs are born, but we are all made.
And one more add-on to this. They are asking that, do you think that by conducting webinar, are you able to hear me, sir? Am I audible, sir? Am I audible? Are you able to hear me?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you repeat again?
Yes, yes, sir. No, what they are asking is that whether by conducting webinar or seminar.
Okay.
No?
Okay. I can't hear you.
One second,
but
sir.
There is, if you can hear me, there is a question from somebody.
Okay.
Sir, there are lots of problems of local tax from underground groups. It's very difficult for businessmen to survive. What strategy should a businessman follow? Shall I answer that?
Yes,
if
yes,
you
sir.
can
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So they are underground taxes, for example, like in a place like Nagaland, and maybe lesser in Manipur, but you still have in Manipur. This, my friend Gopen Moses may have very good experience as well. But this type of hiccup and this type of challenges, whether you are in Nagaland or in Bombay, you will continue to have these things. In Bombay, in other parts of the country, earlier people suffered under the Raj system. They have to bribe the government functionaries, whether it is income tax or whether it is licensing agency or whether it is the police. And so there a lot of businesses struggled under such systems. If you have in your business in Kolkata, I'm sure you have to make the dadas very happy. Otherwise, if you don't make the dadas happy, you have problems. You have people in Bombay where you have to make them happy. Otherwise, if you don't make them happy in Bombay, you can't survive in business. So the problems may be more pronounced here and there. There will be more challenges depending on the location and geography where you are placed in. But in the world of business, These are always challenges that we will have to learn to live with it and solve it. I'm not saying that underground tax is good. It is not good and it should not be there. But if business people like Marwaris or people from South India or people from UP, Bihar can do, if they can do excellent business in Nagaland, what is the problem of local boys and girls? When others can do, why can't they do? So this will be a continuous challenge. So I want to share that problems will be always there. It may be different, but in business, we have to learn how to solve such problems. And so people like us, we learn how to solve such problems and we survive and we also thrive.
Yes, sir. One more question. Now,
Yes, sir.
we are educated, we are trying to form new platforms for jobs, but neither we have funds nor any guarantee for loans. Then how it can be possible?
Yeah. So in the year 2000, when we launched the Entrepreneurs Associates, we launched with 3 motifs. One was we will train and mentor. 2 was we will provide microfinance. We wanted to provide microfinance because banks refuse to give loans to tribals in Nagaland. For the banks, the tribals are the most dangerous people, so they don't feel very happy to see our face in Nagaland. And for many bankers, also they think that posting in Nagaland is a punishment posting because they don't want to come and work here. So there is a negative impression about business and loan in Nagaland. So we thought, well, we are local boys. Let us create a microfinance for the local boys here in Nagaland. We have no money. When we said that we will create market networks, we didn't know because we were just stepping into business. So number 1, we didn't have training skills. Number 2, we had no money. Number 3, we have no market networks. But we have identified 3 problems and 3 solutions. With that, we started what we call Entrepreneurs Associates. Today, we are proudly saying that we have channelized over 400 crores into the market for Naga boys and girls, whereas some banks have not done even 100 crores business in Nagaland. So the difference is whether we have the resources or not, it doesn't really matter. If we are convinced what we do is going to benefit others, I want to say that that is good enough. We might fail, of course, or we might have to change whenever we make some mistakes. But if our visions are clear and if the product or service is good for others, it may take time, but it will become successful if we give in our best. Again, giving in our best is very important.
One last question from my side, and MrGopen Moses, the other panelist, is also interested to ask one question after me. Okay, let me ask this question. Now, you told that there are a lot of scope in farming. A lot of scope is there in farming.
A lot of what farming? Oh, scope. Oh,
scope,
yes.
Scope in farming. So could you please suggest few options for Northeast, especially for Northeast region?
Okay, especially for Northeast region. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I will give you a small example of, well, because I'm in Nagaland, I can give you example of tomato farming, which in Karbi alone in Assam and in Nagaland and also in Manipur, people can do huge tomato farming. We can position ourselves in such a way that we plant tomatoes so that we harvest in a time when major tomato crops don't come from the plain regions. Now there is lots of rain in the plain regions and there is lots of flooding, so the question of tomato does not arise. So the market tomato price in the market today is 70 rupees per kilo. In a small area of half acre, people can harvest round about 15 to 20,000 kgs of tomato, because from one plant in Nagaland, people are able to get even up to 10 kgs of tomatoes. So there is huge money out there, but people have to do it. So I think in a very backyard tomato garden, maybe a half acre can give you at least 2-3 lakhs rupees if you know when to plant. So we need to apply our mind. That is where we call thinking smart. Not planting tomato where everybody is planting, but positioning yourself where when there is huge rain and there is flood, you get your tomatoes. Now this is possible, as I said, in Karbi Anglong, in Manipur, in Nagaland, in Arunachal Pradesh. And for example, people keep on talking about piggeries, so it is not a new thing. But I want to tell people that because of the lockdown, the price of pork is shooting up. In Kohima today, the local pork, people are willing to pay even 350 rupees per kilo. People have paid even 400 rupees per kilo. Now, that is fun because you can have easily 4 or 5 pigs, but a person who has studied in university has to get ready to soil their hands and feet. But I rear pigs in my home till even now you'll be shocked that I have about 23 piglets, because in Kohima people don't have piglets. So I bought piglets, I'm rearing piglets, and the piglets, of course, people are vying for it at 6,000 rupees. It's no joke. So I'm telling people that I don't need piglets. I'm just demonstrating because I get more money from other activities than from piglets. But just to prove my point that pig can give you about 5-6 lakh rupees in a year, it is easily done. Tomato, 5-6 lakhs in a year, easily done. If you want the opportunity of let us say, onion cultivation. Even onions are doing very well in Nagaland. And so these are there. For example, I can give you one thing that we have seen, fruit tree nurseries. Just the other day, we bought round lemon at the rate of about 50 rupees and 60 rupees and 70 rupees, different rates, but per sapling. Now it's very easy to have a sapling of about 20-30,000 trees, fruit trees. If you can sell every year, if you can sell 20,000 fruit tree saplings, it's a business of 10 lakh rupees. And it's not really very hard. So fruit tree nurseries are also, they have huge opportunities. We need to learn how to market it. But in Northeast, any fruit can be grown. And so the nurseries are important. So there is huge opportunity in agribusiness. And sir, I just got a question from somebody saying, what is the biggest bottleneck in entrepreneurship? So I'll just answer that as well. Yeah, I think to me, the biggest bottleneck in entrepreneurship is you, is me. It's not others. If we set our attitude correct, and if we are willing to give our best, if we are not afraid to take the plunge, the bottlenecks is us, it's me. Of course, for us to grow, we need financial support. That is where we need capital market. That is where we need banks. That is where for us to grow and scale, we may need basic power supply, basic infrastructure. We may need basic road. We may need basic connectivity. All these are real when we want to scale up and grow. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, if my attitude is not set correctly for entrepreneurship, even if we have the best power supply, even if we have the best connectivity, even if we have the backing of capital market, of the banks, we will not be able to succeed. So The inherent quality within you about your take on entrepreneurship is more important than the external factors.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, there are a few more questions are there, which I think that we can take in the next session, panel discussion. After our panel discussion, maybe we can take some more Q&As. Am I audible, sir? You are able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So we'll continue with panel discussion. There are a few more questions. We'll address it a little later.
Okay, sir.
So
yeah, thank you so much.
you very much. Thank you very much for giving the detailed answers for all the participants, because it was very much insightful. You added a lot of value to the session. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, dear participants, now let's move on to the session 3, the panel discussion. So, let's use the topic of the panel discussion. The panel discussion topic is how to cope with this pandemic and entrepreneurial perspective. So, how we are going to go with this panel discussion is that myself, Dr. KarthigaiPrakasham, will be the moderator for this program. Then followed by 2 more panelists are there. Gopen Moses, who is from Manipur, who is also a development consultant and entrepreneur. And unfortunately, Srimati Tagerita couldn't join us because I think she has some network issues. In case if she joins after my presentation, so she'll also do the presentation because her entrepreneurial journey is very interesting and insightful. So maybe we all might get a lot of insights from her presentation. And lastly, we'll have MrNeichuteDoulo. Once again, maybe sir can address all the queries, whatever is remaining during the previous session. So let me start the session by giving a small presentation. Just give me a minute. I'll start presenting my screen. Then we'll move on to, I'll introduce Mr. Gopen Moses. Then sir will speak his view on this, how to overcome this pandemic. Then we'll move forward with the Q&A. So I request all the participants to stay a little more with us, a little more time with us to enjoy the session, because it was throughout a lively session, the morning 2 sessions, and now once again it is going to be more of the interaction between the panelists to address all the queries of the participants. I hope that you all can see my screen. Just in case, if you're able to see that, you can just mention. My screen is visible, Anjan. Okay. Now, as my screen is visible, Anjan.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you. So let us start this panel discussion. As I told us, the topic for this, the title for this panel discussion is that how to cope with this pandemic and entrepreneurial perspective. As the father initially introduced, I am Dr. KarthigaiPrakasham. I am an associate professor from the Christ University from Bengaluru Central Campus. Now, I just wanted to give an overview on this, the global economy, because during this COVID, and prior to this COVID 2019, then how is this, how well the global economy was performing. Now you see this, this report is based on KPMG's report, because this was the recent report which was released in April 2020, which shows that during the last year, 2019 itself, most of the economies were in a little of crisis due to various reasons. Maybe it might be because of this, the crude oil prices are based on basically the demand and supply. You can see that there was altogether there was slow growth rate in terms of GDP. Now, if you see that the most developed economy, US, you can see that from 2018 2.9, it has become 2.3. Likewise, you can see that all the well-developed and the developing economies, their GDP has slightly withdrawn. It has come down to a lesser rate. In India, especially, you can see that India's GDP was projected somewhere around 6.5 to 7, but you can find that even India's GDP came to 5.3. At the beginning of 2020, it became 4.5 also. Now, I think it is far below than that, because due to this COVID, it is totally devastated. So this is the condition of the global economy. Now let us focus a little more on the impact of this COVID-19 on the Indian economy, because now since we are all in India and we should know that how our economy is performing. So as I told that, now I've taken few sectors based on this KPMG's report. Now we both the four sectors, I'll be just giving you some insights. If you see that the most affected the sector is that apparel and textiles, followed by the second one is automobiles and auto component companies, the sector. The third one is aviation and tourism, and the fourth one is building and construction, or you might call it as real estate. Now you can see this COVID has brought in a lot of changes, which has damaged to a greater extent to this four sectors, which I would like to address in the next few slides. And otherwise also there are many other sectors which have been drastically affected by this COVID. So let us look into this apparels and textiles. Now, this was one of the important the sector which was contributing to the GDP as well as for employment. More than 2% it was contributing to the GDP, and more than 45 million direct jobs. This is as per the record of 1819, because we don't have the latest statistics, because if we might take it, it might be sorrow to see that the data might be completely different due to this ongoing situation. But during this 2018 and 19, we could see that it was well enough and it was doing extremely good earlier. Now, some of the key export markets where we used to export are the apparels to US, UK, Canada, Russia, and UAE. And we also used to get some of the raw materials from Bangladesh and China. And the equity inflows, FDI equity inflows was 0.75% during this April, the December 2019 to April 2000. The period, between this period. Now, if you see what is the current situation, just I want to show one more slide to reveal the true picture of this apparel and textile at this current scenario. Now, this, I read it, actually the message which is seen here might be on a different reason, but it was in one of the malls, they have taken picture after this COVID, because government in between, they have given some relaxation to open that malls during that time. It came in the paper that all that what was there in the malls, in the retail stores, it all got affected because of this long lockdown. Right? There is a lot of mold on the leather goods. Now, this is because their business are not operational. It was all closed for a long period, especially malls. If you see in malls, all these things. Now, this is one place which is being highlighted here, but in India there are several apparel stores that here, and this has led to that total devastation of this the industry.
Dr. Karthigai.
So this is greatly affected this the apparel sector. This is one simple reason, and also for your information, during this COVID time, I think that people have started using what they have, and they stopped purchasing something new. Because that what we have, that shirts, pants, most of them during their meetings, they don't wear pants because it's not required anymore. When you go out formally, you need to wear that your full sleeve shirts and your formal pants and shoes, all these things. But I think it's not required, because as we once seen earlier in some advertisements, now a couple of the professionals also, they work from home. And when you work from home, actually your upper body is more visible, and what you wear down is not considered, or it doesn't become important. So you see that the relevance is lost. Big weddings have been stopped, because in a wedding you can invite only 50 people. So that grand purchases, all these things have been stopped. Definitely that is also one of the reasons to see this, the apparel sector has gone down. Now moving on to the next one, auto and auto component companies. Now this sector earlier, it used to contribute around 7.1% to the GDP. And this auto component part companies, they used to contribute to 2.3%. Approximately 40 million people used to be there in this particular sector. And we used to export to US, Mexico, Bangladesh, African Mahindra and Mahindra Tata companies used to export their cars to some of the other countries. And we also import many of the things from the other countries like China, Germany, South Korea, even some of the best-selling cars are not from India. It is from some other Korean companies and other car manufacturers. Correct? And we also have some clusters in India, like Chakkan, if you see Mahindra car company is there. And in Tamil Nadu also we have few places, and NCR is also there. And the FDI equity used to be 5.2% between the year 2000 to December 2019. But what is that right now? The current companies, the auto companies, sectors position, that means even in 2018 end itself, it slowly started something like that, electronic vehicle mobility and shared mobility, Ola, Uber, a lot of things have come. And government was trying to impose on this BS6 norms, and whereby the prices have tend to increase. So people postpone all their purchases. So now this data gives a clear picture. I've taken only two companies which are well known, Mahindra and Maruti Suzuki. In 2019, the sales figures, you can see that, and May 2020, you can see the sales figures, how drastically it has fell down. And most of the sales are in negatives. The growth percentages are in negative. I hope that you agree with this, because a lot of competition, a lot of confusions, a lot of policy changes, interest rate fluctuations, inflation, and on top of this COVID-19. So industry is totally, it is affected very badly. This is the second one which I want to explain to you. And third, aviation and tourism. I need not explain much, because once earlier in India, this aviation industry was struggling, and even if you see that Air India, government was trying to sell it and nobody was planning to buy that. So, but still aviation was approximately contributing to 2.4%, because the domestic, the travel and tourism was good. So it was doing well, little better, but not in terms of a few airlines. Some were doing good, some were not doing good. But let us not get into the details right now. Tourism, approximately 9.24% was contributing to the GDP, and on an average, 42.7 million people were there in the jobs in 1890. Now, central government used to spend a lot of money on this, the sector, and key destinations, some of the destinations for tourism and all that. If you see that China, Middle East, Southeast, people used to travel frequently. And key states within India for tourism: Maharashtra, Kerala, UP, Ladakh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Rajasthan, Goa. There are so many places. So a lot of equity investments. But as of now, if you see that the aviation industry is totally shut down, nobody's, once it was, people used to say with pride, I've gone to US, I've gone to Russia, Brazil, all that. But now nobody is saying that, because if you say that, people might not get closer to them, because everybody is worried about COVID, and they have stopped the international services. In between, they started some domestic, but once again, the spread of pandemic, they closed it. So now you all know that what is that serious. And now this pandemic use, there are some data there. Hope this will help you. Average daily domestic passenger in the last year, May, June 2019 was 3,95,000, right? And but right now, if you see that as on the 1st June 2020 till now, this year it is only 67,000 passengers have traveled across. Number of passengers per departure, last year it was 138, and this year it is 102 till 14th June, and 20th June it has become 89. Correct? And also if you see that the Indian domestic passenger traffic, last year it is in millions, 58.6 January to May 2019, but right now it is only 33.2. Now you can see that total loss, all that, I think you are all familiar with that, because I don't know when this will recover. Some of them are saying that U-shape, L-shape, a lot of recovery patterns they are saying that, but I don't know how long this will take to recover that, and especially for this aviation sector. Now moving on to this last one, this I can call it as real estate, building and construction. And this is one of the real estate is one of the largest employment generator, and it has a multiplier effect, because so many industries are associated with that, like iron and steel, like so many industries, electrical appliances, and so many things are associated with real estate. So it used to contribute around 13% to the country's GDP, and they expected that it will reach USD 1 trillion by 2030. But unfortunately, this real estate sector is also under a lot of stress and turmoil. Now you can see that it is witnessing poor demand, lower absorption rate in the past few years. There are many reasons for that. Economic slowdown is there, NPS crisis there, cynical buyer sentiment, and developer defaults. A lot of things are there, but you can see that high number of unsold inventories across the country is there, in the major cities as well as across the country it is in. Now, give you statistics. I've taken this from New Delhi's reports. Now, we can see that housing sales have dropped by 66% across top 9 cities in India in the second quarter of 2020. And if you have to see that in units, it was 21,294 units right now, when compared to that 60,851 in the quarter 1 of 2020. And in Noida, there were no new launches, but other cities, you can see that Gurugram, Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Thane, Kolkata, every other city, major cities have witnessed some downfall in terms of that. This I've taken from Economics Time. So you need not worry about the data. It is all genuine data which is there available in that. Now, some of the sectors, that is as per the KPMG report, but some of the things which have lost, some other sectors which have lost in the pandemic, because that for as per the sector wise I've gone with that. But in general, as a common man, you and me are familiar with that. Most of these things are very much affected, like malls, theaters, restaurants. Now, once again, restaurant has been allowed to open, but still in a few cities, once again, the lockdown is commencing, or we are opening once again the lockdown. So restaurants, cabs, Ola and Uber, all these things have completely, totally lost. Nobody prefers to travel, even in spite of they are taking so much measures to ensure that safety and hygiene of the traveler, commuter, but still nobody prefers. Autos, once again same, saloons and beauty parlors. Now all these things are empty. Government restrictions are there, and also that we don't know, quite not sure, because everybody has confined themselves to the closed rooms. The 4 rooms are within a room, 4 walls is more than sufficient for the others. Only thing is that they need to have a laptop or smartphone, internet connectivity, correct? And they are all managing. It has become, the world has shrunk, and it has become a single room, or sometimes it might become a single bungalow or individual room or flat, as per the individual's convenience it has become. So these things have been greatly affected once again. Now, some of that which I told that, this Ola and Uber, in spite of that, some sectors have revived, but still these sectors have not revived. It takes a lot of time. Both of them, Ola and Uber, are facing crisis, severe crisis, and the cab drivers, they are jobless. And once where we used to find in Bangalore, the busy roads with a lot of Olas and Ubers and a lot of airport taxis. Now none of these airport taxis, we call it as ride-hailing demand the services, but now you can't find any of these services on the road. There are there, but people not prefer. And when I read this, some of the reports, they used to say that earlier 15 to 20 daily rides which they get, now they are getting very less, 3 to 4 rides. Mostly it is all shuttle between hospitals, because there is no airport, there is no railway station, the journeys. So, and there is no office. Everybody has started to work from home. So there is no need to go to office, no need to go to school, no need for shopping, no need for wedding, and all these things have been curtailed. This is the status of this Ola and Uber. Now, some of the industries which have gained during this pandemic, e-commerce stores, like what I have put some of the pictures, Flipkart, Fresh to Home, Big Basket, and Netflix, Telecom, all these things have gained a lot, because these the essential services were allowed, and these companies have supported the public and the nation during this lockdown period. So e-commerce, definitely yes. And Kirana stores, all big department stores and malls have been closed. And for our rescue and help, only the nearby Kirana stores have come and supported us. Online food delivery services, few of the rest for this Swiggy, Zomato, and all these things, they were quite good. They were able to manage that because it was allowed. And telecom, because everybody uses the mobile telephone connections, so telecom sector was good. Healthcare, definitely hospitals, clinics, all these things have gained a lot. Internet, without internet, even this the meeting what we are having, it is impossible. So definitely internet, all companies have come up with new schemes, new plans to facilitate the users. And farming, definitely we have relied, as Mr. NeichuteDoulo was saying, that organic farming or the agri-based farming was once again given the priority. They were the farmers who were helping us during our crisis. And online courses, many of the online courses like MOOC courses and all that from various the providers,
it was quite useful for the professors and maybe for the students, school students, college students, and for professionals also. So some of these things have gained during this pandemic. And coming to this, I just wanted to say some strategy what these companies have done. Now, if you have seen this, Swiggy, earlier their business was just to deliver food. When you order a food in the restaurant, they used to deliver. But during this pandemic, they use this as a platform to come up with something called as a Swiggy Genie, where you can buy anything, you can get anything with the support of this Genie. Just you'll have to place an order, your essential services, whatever that you want, vegetables, provisions, that will be delivered to your doorstep, including alcohol, whatever is legally permitted, anything and everything. You want to give some gift to somebody, that is also possible. So all these things was taken as a strategy by this the startup, and they have been successful in that. So this is one example which I want to just show, that Swiggy and Flipkart. Once again, Flipkart basically they are into initially books and electronic items, but offline they have moved to this supplying this the medicines also. If you go down little down into this Flipkart app, you can find 1mg where they are also supplying, because this, as I told, healthcare was very much in demand. This Flipkart uses opportunity. So now, in terms of all these things, beyond COVID-19, we all have to embrace the new normal, because that is going to be a new normal. Nobody has any options. Everybody has to undergo this, and we are not sure when this pandemic is going to end, when the vaccination will arrive, and what will happen to this the pandemic in very soon. So, but this was once again suggested by this KPMG. Shift towards localization. Post-COVID 2019, the world should embrace this to become better, because we know that problems are there, but still we should move on further to ensure that we do our best to face the challenges what is going to come after this COVID-19, because economy will not revive soon, even in spite of government trying to revive it, but still hurdles and problems are coming up. So let us see that. But this was the suggestion given by that. What is that we need to do in this post-COVID-19? The entire world should follow this, is what they are given as suggestion. But at least we also should see that what possible we can do that. So now shift towards localization. I think that's why we have our entrepreneurs in the panel discussion, where they'll be focusing on this more of localization. And Mr. NeichuteDoulo also focused on this localization, Northeast and all these places. MrGopen Moses also will share his views on this, what we can do for the respective regions. And actually we had Srimati Tagarita, who would be focusing on this, the kiwi farm. Actually it was very inspiring, but unfortunately she couldn't join. So if you see that all this, the eminent people are going to focus little on this shift towards localization. And digital has got a real push, and henceforth it will be digital, because all the payments, we don't want to touch others, social distancing. So that is going to be there. And cash is king. Even though in spite of whatever we do that, ultimately cash becomes an important and integral part. So move towards variable cost models. Instead of spending a lot of money on fixed cost, we'll have to think something on variable cost, because all the big infrastructure investments have become little waste right now. Maybe in the future, once it starts better, we might use it till the time the investments is has been hurdled. Now, building sensing and control tower capabilities, it's all going to be IoT related things. We need to have a lot of internet IoT related things. Supply chain, we depend earlier on too many other countries, but now there is a problem. So we need to ensure that local supplies and the supply chain resilience is going to be how to strategize also to ensure that the required raw materials are there with us, and building agility. Agility is very important. How fast you can change yourself to the changing scenario. This pandemic has given a lesson that we cannot relax ourselves. We need to change ourselves very quickly and fast, swift, so that we are agile. And with this last one more thing, in sum, this crisis is a story with an uncertain ending. However, what is clear is COVID-19 has introduced new challenges to the business environment, which calls for a measured, practical, and informed approach from political and business leaders. We also need to realize that COVID-19 is likely to lead to a new normal. Being aware and preparing for these shifts will help businesses and economies navigate in the post-COVID-19 world. So with this small note, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to introduce MrGopen Moses, who will take forward us how to cope up with this pandemic from his own real life experiences. So it's my pleasure to introduce MrGopen Moses. Sir has done his Masters in Social Work from Loyola College, Chennai in the year 1996. And he's currently the development consultant and entrepreneur from 2009. And he has done a lot of contribution. His contributions are the evaluation of long-term action aid UK project in the Manipur district, and conducted Do No Harm training for NGO staff in Nagaland, organized by AIDA, Dimapur. And he also done a 10-day consultancy to Transnational Institute, DNI, Amsterdam, for initiating work in India's Northeast region, and a 5-day consultancy for a new South Asia office in Delhi on democratic recruitment process and induction program. He is a visiting lecturer in Bosco Institute, a social institute, Jharkhand, Assam. He also has participated in various seminars, talk, presentations made on various issues of development, specifically on entrepreneurship development for the youth in India's Northeast region. Prior to this, he was program coordinator for Northeast UNAIDS India, and he also was the program coordinator Northeast Constella Futures International. He was also a state representative, Northeast States, CRS India, and he was also a program officer or manager, Northeast region. With this small introduction, I request Dr. Gopen Moses just take over this session and to give his idea on how to overcome this pandemic. Over to you, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're good to go, sir. Fine.
Okay. I'm so glad I'm part of this webinar. I'm thankful to Mr. Prakasham, Dr. Prakasham, for his generous introduction. I'm basically a social worker turned entrepreneur. I'm also very happy that Father Paleli, the principal of Don Bosco College, Golaghat, is listening to me. He was my teacher in the high school. And one of the biggest qualifications I have today is I am his student, Father Paleli's student. When he contacted me about this, I was more than happy to participate. And I told Father that I would only tell some of my personal experiences of coping with this pandemic locally here in Manipur. So, without wasting too much of time to get to the topic, my son is disturbing here. You go away. To get to the topic right away, I have listened to one Mr. Gogoi who talked very enthusiastically and vehemently about his experiences. It was very encouraging. Again, it was all the time a pleasure listening to Mr. NeichuteDoulo, my dear friend from Kohima, with whom I have lots of business till today. In fact, NeichuteDoulo is the person who motivated me actually to change my course from social work to entrepreneurship, from working as a paid salaried employee of some agency to doing something on my own. So I'm actually very happy that he's with me here again today. And some of the things that I will share is already known to him. So to a great extent, this will be a repetition to him. Secondly, recently, just before the lockdown began, I was traveling to Kaziranga with my family. And on my way back, I thought I will just drop by to Don Bosco College, Golaghat, to see the college, and also to say hello to Father Paleli and the priests who are my teachers, who are my friends there. So I call up Father Paleli and Father C.P. Matthew of the Don Bosco College, Golaghat, and Father Bimal Lakara, who is also part of this movement. And I just drove by to see what they are doing and say hello to them with my children and with my friends. And then and there, like any other day, they welcome me and they say, I must speak to the children. It was a second year BA students, I think. So if some of them are also listening to me now, some of the points that I'm going to say may be a repetition to them. So apologies. Well, as an entrepreneur, we always tend to think differently. When this lockdown happened, like any other person, I was also in a state of shock. The whole world was experiencing a fear and panic, and I thought in the next few days we will begin to understand the actual problem more from the disease point of view and how it will affect, because everything was new and everybody was saying so many things. Some are contradictory to each other and things like that. So I was thinking that in due course of time, things will settle soon and we'll get back to normal life. And this did not happen for a week or for 2 weeks. Then I thought there's something drastic is going to happen, and how to save ourselves from this. I thought the world, the type of things the world is experiencing now will be like an experience which we'll never have experienced earlier, and everything will be affected. Then when we analyze that problem all the more deeper, then I got to understand that I realized that one thing which was playing the major problem was the issue of fear. Everybody was afraid and the panic was prevalent all over. I thought this is not good. This is not good. But there are a lot of good things about social media, be it WhatsApp, YouTube, or you name it, even the Facebook. There are a lot of good things. But about spreading fear during this pandemic, the social media did a very bad thing. Everybody was glued to their social media networks, and they were, whatever was being told there was believed blindly. And at the end of it, everybody was afraid. More and more fear was instilled in people's mind. And this actually affected all the more. Fear, to me, is a disease. Most of the time, we are not able to do things properly because of fear. But fear is a disease, and it's a greater disease actually than the current pandemic. When you are affected by fear, nothing can actually work with that person. When I'm affected by fear, nothing can work with that person. Everything gets moved with fear. And I used to think, how did this fear, unnecessary fear, comes to many people's life, including ourselves. And the type of friends I interacted during this pandemic, it was only talking about fear, and fear. Oh, I cannot get out, I'm afraid, and I cannot do this. I'm afraid, and everything all centered around fear. I said, my gosh, this is very bad. As if we get out of this pandemic, you are not going to die. All of us are actually born to die. Many people don't understand this. Say you save yourself from COVID-19, you save yourself from this virus, but will you actually not die one day? One day you will surely die. Say, after I got senses in my life, the first thing I knew about life is that once I am born, the next thing that is sure in the life is to die. So death is something is already assured, no matter when it will come, be it COVID or without COVID. People don't understand this, and they think that if they get out of their home, they are going to die. And that is something which you cannot predict. So unnecessarily people are just thinking too much about fear. And that is the experience all over the world. I analyze where is this fear coming from. And most of the time, I would say that it is from our education and from our parenting. Many in our family also instill fear in us unnecessarily. Many of the parents now actually have a lot of generation gap with their children. And because of that, there's such a lot of problems. Fear being one of it. They will say, whenever we want to do something, whenever we think something different, the first thing our parents and teachers used to say is, don't do it. It's not good. Most of the time, it is only discouragement. So we always get this generation of, the attitude of fear from our teachers, from our schools, and from our parents. I used to think that way. Now, in order to do this, I thought I must myself do something to get out of this fear, because I had also some element of fear, because I also did not understand what is going on here, and so many people are afraid. So I need to get out of this. So I just indulge myself in doing something despite the lockdown. So that actually keeps to let other people also get influenced in some way with my actions. So adventure is one thing to get out of fear. Mr. Gogoi was talking about it to some extent before Nietzsche Day. And we say entrepreneurs are actually risk takers, isn't it? If entrepreneurs are risk takers, why fear? Why we have fear unnecessarily? Most of the time, unless we take risks, we will not perform anything in our life. They say. They even say that the risk of not taking risks is the biggest risk. So I mean, we have to take some risk whether you like it or not. Everything about life is risk, isn't it? When you get up, when you get up, you don't know whether you'll come back home when you go out, and when you sleep, you are not sure whether you will get up on the next day or not. So everything about life is risk. So if you don't take risk, I mean, that is the greatest risk if you want to do something in life. See, so therefore, risk is an embodiment of our own human life, I used to think. So, I mean, unless we think differently, we will not do anything worthwhile in our life. And this fear again, I'm getting back to fear. I came across in a report that if you are a nail, a saying, if you are a hammer, you look everything, you begin to see everything as nails. You see, when the health workers and the health professionals have advised the different actions and policies of the government, and they are all from the medical professionals. And when they are in that profession, they tend to look at things only from the disease point of view. So that's why this has become unnecessarily too overwhelmed to the extent of, getting to India, getting to an unnecessarily total lockdown, which has actually hampered most of our businesses today. But I mean, so many policy changes, policy pitfalls have taken place because of such advice, and which is drawn from fear. So I started doing lot of silly little things in my personal life to get out of my own fear, so that some people will get influence out of it. And if you are an entrepreneur, you have to always think positive, they say. And if you think positive, okay, something will get out of this experience. We should think that way. So I was trying to see what best we can do out of this experience of fear people are having. So those are the ways even to think differently. This difficulty is actually an opportunity for us to think, even to think differently from what I was doing all this while, and to think about a different business. So many people left their mobile business and started selling vegetables on the road. Some of my friends whom I have influenced to take up business, who were doing manufacturing, started wholesaling in vegetables. Some of my friends who are doing great time retailing in other items started stocking the grocery items during this lockdown. See, then your horizon of your mindset, the horizon of your business actually expands because of this lockdown, because of this fear. So people begin to think differently. People begin to see things differently in the positive light. They say entrepreneurs are always the catalyst for change. It is not a mere business enterprise. An entrepreneur always tends to think about bringing about some change in his life, in his family, in his society, in his locality, and in the larger society as a whole. So to bring about this kind of change, this is the mindset of the entrepreneur. An entrepreneur shouldn't be worried about what is going on at the moment. There will always be a way to do things. Of course, Prakasham has even just now suggested type of economic loss and that the whole world has experienced, especially India. All those things are true. All those things are true, no doubt. But there will always be other ways to actually come up in life, even more realistic ways, to think about our lives differently. Entrepreneurs are always happy, they say. Whatever they do, they are always happy. They spread smiles all over with the people that they meet. So if they are happy, why should we be so sad about what is going on here? To get out of it, yeah, in a different way is the mindset of the entrepreneur. We talk about all these things in a polite manner because entrepreneurs are always polite, they say. Since I have only 10 or 20 minutes, I will not take too long. So let me just list about some of the things I have done during this lockdown. During this lockdown, number one, to get out to treat my mind, that this is not the end of the world. To let me think that, okay, there may be a better way to do things now. And to let my mind get the idea that, okay, I will always do a better one next time. So, I mean, to do this, in the first 2 weeks, I did an academic study of various adventurous life, including climbing the Mount Everest and including driving your two-wheeler to Ladakh for 10 days, getting lost in that beautiful place. So how to do this? All these adventurous ideas was with me. And now I can give you a 3-hour lecture non-stop on how to do Mount Everest climbing and to do a bike ride to Ladakh, etc. Even to the extent that I booked an adventure bike to go to Ladakh next year. I hope the China problem gets over soon and the Ladakh will be open. I am trying to do that next year. Okay, so that is one thing which I did during this lockdown. Secondly, after that academic study was over, which I did in the internet at home, then I needed to get out of home. When I needed to get out of home, these police people were all over. Imphal police all the more was more active than any other place, I guess. They were beating up people on the road, catching up and finding people and things like that. So I chose different routes through which I can go to my study field without having to face any policeman on the road. So I used to take the bicycles, they used to take easy on bicycles. I used to take the two-wheelers, which they used to take easy. So I went to my study field and I did one thing which was long overdue. I wanted to do some fishing, fishery. So I dug my ponds in my paddy field for fishery. Now, after the rainy season, my fish ponds are all filled with water now. So that kept me busy for about 2 weeks again. Then that was over. We were still not able to get out. So what I did was I ran after one music teacher who will teach music to my children, so violin, guitar, and keyboard, and etc. So all my children who are back home now, they are learning music. and they are finding happiness in it. Then this was done. Then I did not participate in the music classes, so I was doing how to beautify my compound and house with flower pots. I have never done this. My wife used to do a little, but I started thinking which plant is good for my family, which plant is needs less care and things like that. So I did quite a lot of study and found some plants and started hunting those plants in and around my house, in my area, and I got it and I planted all over, and it is doing very well. And everybody is admiring how I have done it and how it has grown. Then in my farm, I took my cycling friends one by one and made them plant fruit trees as a memory, to create a memory during this lockdown. Let this fruit tree bear your memory that, okay, you have planted this during the lockdown. So I planted lots of fruit trees, which I got from the forest department and the horticulture department, government of Manipur. Then what I was doing was seen and observed by some of the nearby villages around my farm, around my paddy field. So they requested, so I facilitated plantation of fruit trees for this particular village. And the forest department and the horticulture department was more than happy to give their VIP plants. The VIP plants, in the sense, I was actually amused to hear this term, VIP plants in the forest department. They used to specially keep some plants, some saplings, which was to be used only by some VIPs during plantation time. If the ministers are coming out to plant and encourage plantation, they will bring out good plants. So those good plants, they were hiding. And because of the lockdown, so much of those activities were left this year, and they had it to be given away to people. So I got lots of fruit trees, which are VIP saplings, and gave it to the village, and everybody was so happy doing that. So at the end of it, these are some of the things which kept me busy, and I needed to treat myself well during this lockdown. Then another thing which I did in collaboration with the Catholic Church and my cycling comrades, cycling friends, I participated and facilitated lots of relief programs in the villages for the poor, and running around from pillar to post to get rice from the government at the rate which is given away for relief and things like that. All those things are new learning for me, how relief was done, how government used to give this kind of rice for people at the control rate, and which department works and how, etc. So all these things are a very good actually learning for me, which was enabled because of the lockdown. In all, I enjoyed my lockdown, and things are slowly getting open. And India will just see, because of these difficulties, India will surge back to its normal economy, and it will continue to do well. Believe me, everything happens for a good purpose. Everything that has happened so far, it is for the good of the humanity. So many things are good during this lockdown. See, your families have become your prime attention during this lockdown, which you couldn't. You see, I could do a lot of plantation, which I always wanted to do. I couldn't do it. I did the digging of the fish pond, which was long overdue, which I did. Many of my friends also experienced a positive surge of energy among their friends and their families. These are all good things. We are beginning to think different, and we are beginning to think that no matter what happens, we are always going to be better next time. Thank you very much, and I take this opportunity to thank again the organizers for this opportunity. And wherever you go, wherever you are, spread smiles, spread happiness, and with your silly little things, keep spreading the positivity in life. Things are going to be fine. We will do much better next time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and that positivity, because now it is the only thing what we require is positivity, because in your session you just told that because fear is the greatest disease which can kill people. Because which you told that thinking about this pandemic and getting ending up in problems, that's the more difficult thing what's happening right now are going on. But you rightly touched upon few things that entrepreneurs are risk takers, so this is also a kind of risk. We need to overcome that risk. And similarly, many things you told, as rightly I mentioned a little early, positive, be positive. Things will get changed. May not immediately, but it might take some time. But still, we all should be positive being an entrepreneur. Based on your experience as an entrepreneur, you just convey that to be more positive and think instead of witnessing that what is happening, try to be the change who can make that change, who can bring that change what everybody expects. And as our father vice chancellor told, science have failed because now during this difficult time, science and technology has failed. But still, as entrepreneurs, maybe we might try to do something to come with some innovations and to provide something a better lifestyle. As you told that you change your style for some time, what you wanted to do. So we also request all the members who are participants here, and they have got a good time to share with their family members and be happy. The last thing which you also told, that be happy that whatever that it might be, things will pass on. So with that small note, just I would like to go for this the Q&A, some 3-4 questions. What is there? Maybe I'll read out the question. Either Mr. Neichute or you, whoever feels that you can answer that question. Maybe preferably we can address it for next 5 minutes. Then we'll move on to this valedictory section, sir. Is that fine, sir? Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's it. Yeah.
Yes. Now, one of the participant who asked earlier, he asked 2 questions. One is that he was asking that, do you think that by conducting webinar or seminar by educational institutions, more entrepreneurs can be made, particularly in the Northeast region? By conducting webinars like this, do you think that more and more entrepreneurs can be brought in or developed in the Northeast region is what he is asking. So if MrGopen Moses would like to go, I would be happy.
Okay. Now, ultimately, it is this webinar is only a small little means. To bring about a change. I mean, you keep hear these points. I'm not telling anything new either. I mean, to bring about this change, it is primarily to rest on you. To tell you the facts that I'm sitting at home and talking to around 300 people at one go, and no matter where they are. Look at this opportunity. This is the opportunity brought by the technology today. So people who are willing to change, with or without webinar, they will anyway change. Webinar is only an excuse. Listening to some people
through a webinar, many people
are getting to listen to people whom you never thought you will be able to listen. So if somebody is somewhere at some time through webinar or without webinar, if you have got one motivating factor, one motivating point, and because of that you have changed, why not? That opportunity has increased today because of webinar.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, a few questions I'm skipping, which I felt that already Mr. Neichute has addressed earlier in his, how can I get loan and all that. So I'm just skipping that. And now one more question is there. How do you see the contributions and challenges of women entrepreneurs? How is it different from male entrepreneurs? I think today, if Srimati Tagerita would have joined, she would have been the right person to address this question, I think, because she has become a successful woman entrepreneur. But in the absence of her, can any one of you can address that, sir?
Women to a great extent in India is getting pampered with so many facilities. Those who want to do it, do it. Women will succeed better. In fact, they are more practical people than men.
Sure. Thanks, sir. Mr. Neichute, if you are interested in giving this answer for this.
Yeah, you see, in other parts of the country, The cultural context may be slightly different, where in other parts of the country they may not really encourage women to go out of their house and do business. So you have situations where women are looked down upon, or women are restricted from going out of the house to take up entrepreneurial activities. Whereas in the Northeast region, it is slightly different. Women are more outgoing, and in fact, it is expected that women are at par with men when it comes to the economic issues and running of the household. So you will see a lot of women going out in Northeast to take business, to do business. This cultural difference is visible all across Southeast Asian economies and societies. So for Northeast, when we see women doing business, it is normal. Whereas for other parts of the country, when you talk about women or you see women doing business, it is looked down upon or restricted. So here in Northeast, the women folk have absolutely every right to do business. And we have seen that in Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Arunachal, in fact, women have done better than men in businesses. Of
True.
course, we want to encourage women to do better than men, but there seems to be some sort of mental block among the women that they don't want to grow as big as they should, because at the back of their mind, they always keep family, as the more important part than business. But we have seen women do better and, of course, take more risk than men in businesses, micro businesses that women have undertaken. I wish that the women entrepreneurs think big and do big, which is not yet so much visible among Northeast women entrepreneurs, or else women presence in the business or in the market is very encouraging and very good in Northeast.
Hello? Nichite, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Nichite, now, can you hear me?
A little bit, not very good.
I wanted to ask this question while during your session. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I wanted to ask this question. I mean, from the time you started your movement and now, what is the change of attitude towards entrepreneurship from the society, from the church, in the context of Nagaland?
Thank you, Gopan. Yeah. So when we started out some 20 years back, especially the young people, business was not in their radar. They wouldn't think about business at all. Only very few of us thought about business. And actually, parents stopped their kids from taking up entrepreneurship in those days when we started out. I remember some families where their parents stopped talking to me because they think that I have influenced them to take up entrepreneurship. Of course, now they talk to me very nicely. They're very happy that their children are doing well and their children are, by local standards, successful. When it comes to church and schools, nobody would talk about entrepreneurship. They would think that we are going to bring down their village standards because we are talking entrepreneurship to students and youth. But today, this has also changed. The student bodies, the church organizations are today requesting us to encourage and motivate and inspire the youth to take up on entrepreneurship. So there is definitely significant change at the societal level and at the individual level. Earlier, it was a shame to introduce yourself to the crowd that your aim in life, your ambition is to do business. But today, I see many more young people proudly saying that I want to do business. I want to take up, my aim in life is to take up business. So we are very happy that there is significant change and there is shift in perspectives.
Thank you, Mr. Neichute. Now, talking about the women entrepreneurs, as you rightly said that, even during this time of pandemic, the women leaders have been more better than the male leaders, because worldwide statistics shows that, and even India, if you see that Kerala state, you can see that the women, the health minister took the lead to control this pandemic. So like that, women are all good, going great. So I wish and pray that women can do better, and they are no less than men in the coming days also. So that's what.
And also, sir, and also.
Yes, sir.
And also, the countries led by the women are doing better in this pandemic.
Yes. That's what I was telling. Worldwide, the countries which are led by women leaders, they are doing really well. So we should agree with that. That as you told in your place also, you give more importance to women, and as like that, we wish and pray that in all the parts of the country, women are given equal importance and the rights to start entrepreneurial the enterprises. One last question. With that, we'll close the session. Due to time paucity, I am not going to ask all the questions. So I request the participant to understand. And with this last question, we'll wind up the session, sir. This is an idea has been generated during this session to conduct a competition inviting the youth to present their innovative and sustainable ideas. Is it possible? Can you enlighten us what has been asked? As an outcome of this webinar, they wanted to go ahead with this a competition for youth to present their innovative and sustainable ideas. So they are seeking your guidance whether they can go ahead with that.
Can I come in?
Yes, Mr. Gopen.
Yeah, you see, business is nothing but it's all about ideas. It's all about ideas. So why not? And if there is a good platform to facilitate this, please do it. And many young people now have such a lot of ideas, and the parents are not able to understand that idea. The parents that idea because of this generation gap and the technology differences that people have experienced. So I mean, they are actually, some of them are getting suffocated with these ideas and not having a platform or place or person to actually express it. I should say that it is a very good point.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Neichute, you want to add anything on that?
Can you please repeat the question? I couldn't hear earlier.
No. What I asked is that now the outcome of this webinar, they wanted to know whether they can go with a competition where youth can present their innovative and sustainable ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Neichute. So due to this lack of time.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Neichute.
Yeah. I think that's great. They should do that because ideas can change and create new things in this world. So if there are good innovation, we must build upon it, and the young people can throw out their best ideas which can solve problems for our society and create opportunities for themselves and for others. So that's a great idea. They should take on it.
Thank you, Mr. Neichute. So with this, our deliberations, we have come to an end of this second day, where we have witnessed that right from morning 10 o'clock on various topics from the real entrepreneurs. who have shared their experiences, and we also ended up in deliberations and discussions, which I think that it will be fruitful to all the participants. So at this note, I thank Father Jose Palele for giving me this opportunity for being the moderator and managing this show. Thank you, Father. Over to you, Father. Over to Anchan.
Thank you, sir.
Is Father saying something?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Anchan.
Okay. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you to participants. Thank you, our dear resource persons. So, the two-day webinar has come to an end. So, I deem it a great honor to propose the word of appreciation to everyone associated to this two-day webinar. First and foremost, I would like to thank the entire panel of resource persons who, despite of their busy schedule, agreed to join us and share their knowledge and expertise with us. I sincerely thank them and hope for collaborations in the future. I'll start with Dr. ChimunKr Nath, HOD of Department of Commerce, Dbcgolaghat University. Dr. Avishek Chakraborty, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Christ, deemed to be University, Bengaluru. MrHironmoyGogoi, CEO of GKK, Assam. MrNeichuteDoulo, CEO of Entrepreneurs Associates, Nagaland. MrGopen Moses from Manipur. And I also like to extend my gratitude to our moderators, Father Bimal Lakra, for moderating the day one perfectly, and also Dr. KarthigaiPrakasham, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Christ, for smoothly conducting the sessions, sitting hundreds of kilometers away. Thank you, sir. The most important aspect of a webinar is the participants who not only attended, but also actively participated in it, and I appreciate their involvement. The webinar would not have been possible without the continuous support and teamwork of the entire Don Bosco fraternity and Christ Department of Commerce. I'd like to extend my heartiest thanks to Dr. Teresa Vincent, Nithila Vincent, the HOD of Department of Commerce, Christ, Bengaluru, for their collaboration with us and help us in every way possible. I'd also like to mention especially the name of Father Dr. Jose Palele for continuously encouraging and guiding us in every matter and giving solutions to every problem that we had. And also Sister Dr. Sheila Paul, the IQAC coordinator of our college, who extended her helps under the aegis of the IQAC cell. Last but not the least, our technical team, who were behind the scene, monitoring and facilitating everything that we needed for a smooth conduct of the webinar, led by Ms. Lalita Usga, along with Ankur Mohanta, Sanjay Rizal, Deonis Tirki, and Michael Khaka. Special thanks to the members of our Department of Commerce, Mr. Shiv Kumar Sharma, Devangana Sekya, and Pragya Singh for the immense help in the preparation of the webinar. We as a team worked really hard. I take the privilege to thank you, and with the hope of meeting again, I conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anchan. Thank you, Anchan. At this note, I just want to thank once again Father Jose Palele and my Dean, Dr. Tommy K. Kallarikal, as well as my head of the department, Dr. Teresa Nithila Vincent, for giving me an opportunity to connect with you all and sharing our knowledge with all the participants. So thank you all once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Gopan.
Thank you,